Welcome to another edition of DS Sessions, man. And
I forgot what's
we got good news. Jerry is back from his White Claw bender in fucking Florida. What's up, Jerry? Nice to see you again.
yeah, I got done with my White Claw dinner, then I went over to your mama's house to complete the fucking party.
different kind, different kind of bender.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun, dude. Very relaxed. One of our better vacations that we've had in a while. So
A
yeah,
different kind of claw.
had fun.
Kind of claw.
Had a lot of fun, man.
White Claw, man. All right,
I like
man.
that. I like that hat. I like that hat you got there, Jerry.
Oh, the Bucky's hat, yeah.
Yeah,
We always try to plan our trip where we're driving to go to a couple Bucky's on the way, man. Because
yeah,
the
you,
best breakfast sandwich and the best breakfast burrito ever, man. They have.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Every time I go into a Bucky's, I try to buy their coffee,
yeah.
so that I can have a couple of packs with me.
Yeah, it's the only place in the world where you can go just to use the restroom and come out spending $150. I mean,
Yeah, I tell
it's a
you,
cool
man.
place, man.
There's like 3 or 4 going that way, one going that way. Every time I leave town, doesn't matter what highway I decide to go. There's
Oh yeah,
always a
you're in
Buc-ee's
the
where I go.
you're in the midst of the Bucky's.
Yeah, yeah,
That's where it
yeah.
all started from.
Hey, is
Yeah.
Stucky still there with the pecan roll?
Yes.
Okay, that place sucked.
Yeah, that's why
That place
I
smelled
the
like fucking piss. I was a kid when I went there. Go. I told my grandma and mom, "Can we not stop this place
Yeah.
again?"
I think I'm gonna stop drinking for a while.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
fuck you.
Yeah, clearly.
Cheers.
Cheers. Clearly. All right, man. So what are we doing, Jerry? This is your episode, man. Whoa. That must have been
Oh,
Jack Straight is horrible, man. That's why I
Oh,
drink Evan Williams.
fuck Evan West. We're doing our top 11, not necessarily top 11. I don't know if we're gonna do an album. I didn't specify whether it be an album or just top 11 songs. Have to do with fire. It could do with fire, burn, ashes, whatever, but nothing to do with Satan or hell because that's too easy. Every metal song has Satan and hell in it, so kind of keeping that off the the table tonight and just just concentrating on just basic fire, smoke, burn, whatever stuff like that. Should be pretty interesting. There's a lot of diversity in that subject, so
Mhm.
interesting to find out what we all got here.
Yeah, I picked my list on fire. I just said, fuck it. I'm just doing fire. I'm not going to
yeah,
put
same.
burn or ashes in there. I just kept the theme of fire. I think, and I went by songs that are,
Yeah,
I'm
I
actually,
did a top 11.
I did talk, I'm going through songs that I'm actually been listening to a lot. So they're in my head. So it might be diverse or might not be.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
depends on what I've been listening. I've been listening to everything lately. So how'd you come up with your list, Joseph?
Well, you told me songs about fire, and I immediately wrote down like 20. So
It's not a challenging topic, but
it's not, but there's a lot of really good songs.
yeah, there is.
What about you, Andy?
Yeah, I kept mine very specific. Hard rock, heavy metal between 1980 and 1890. Sorry, between
Time
1980
traveling.
and 1990 only. Except for one track did go outside the realm of 1980, but I'll talk about that. But everything has to do with the MTV hard rock heavy metal era.
Nice. Jerry, how'd
Yeah.
you come up with your list, dude?
Well, I mean, just basically sitting there watching TV and what songs have fire burning, this and that, blah 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 blah, and that's basically how I did it. It wasn't really like I said, a hard research to do. So I'm sure I left some good ones out because but
And
yeah, it
I'm sure
wasn't.
some
It
of
was
us will mention them. So
yeah. So I got a couple deep tracks in there which I think are pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't like I said, it was a relatively easy one for me to do.
All right, so let's get to the BS. Let me see here. Who do I want to make fun of right now? Fuck it. Let's make fun of Sebastian Bach. He says that Skid Row reunion could happen, and it was just a miscommunication between them,
it won't.
and that they thought he said something when he didn't say something, and it should be all solved. And he's got to write an email to them, and he's got to figure out the right words without joking. I heard this today on Eddie Trunk. What are
Okay.
your thoughts on that, Joseph? You're already shaking your head, so you go first, man.
It's not going to happen. Like if it hasn't happened already, it's not gonna happen. Like they've been through so many vocalists. It's kind of a Jack Russell Great White situation where like it's just never gonna happen. Like if it's gonna happen, it would have already happened. They are both equally doing well enough without each other that they don't really need to. They're both playing pretty much the same size venues. And I really don't think that they'd be playing anything bigger if he got back with them. I don't really see Skid Row plays decent sized venues. They're not exactly hurting for money. And imagine, especially with everybody was kind of shitting all over the whole Lizzie Hale thing. And then the videos started coming out, and everyone's like, oh, actually, she sounds pretty good.
Fucking, it's
And-
pretty awesome. I thought so. I mean,
Yeah, which I didn't think she was going to fit great. I thought she did. But I think that they're both kind of at their kind of cap as far as where their popularity is going to be in
Yeah.
2024, regardless of a reunion tour or not. I don't think that a reunion tour is going to move Skid Row up from theaters to like arenas. I don't think they were ever big enough of a band to warrant a reunion that would sell that many tickets. Would a lot of us enjoy it? Yeah, I'm sure we would, but I don't think that, particularly on the Skid Row side of it, I don't think things would have to go pretty bad for them over the next year or so for anything to change on their end of it. I think they've said in the past they're perfectly happy doing what they're doing without having his drama in the band. I mean, aside from the singers, they've kept the same core lineup of musicians for what, 20 years?
Yeah.
And the other three original members have like they work with each other perfectly fine. And I don't think that any of them really want to deal with bringing his drama back into the band.
Well, it was a miscommunication.
Okay, Sebastian Bach's full of
Says
shit.
him.
So
Says him.
Sebastian Bach has given 20 different examples of why he, like 20 different explanations, and I don't believe any of them. And I think that he was just a douchebag, and they were just tired of it. And by the time 1996 rolled around, they weren't popular anymore. So they said, well, it's not going to hurt us at all if we get rid of him. So let's get rid of it.
You have any thoughts on that, Andy?
Well, I do want to say the new Sebastian Bach albums are pretty damn good.
It is. It's very.
Hey,
that
that's
was
the
really
best
well
thing
done.
John Five has written. He wrote
That
a lot
is
of
a
those
really
songs
good
with him and played guitar on it. I don't think Motley Crue lets John Five write because that shit is good. That
well, there's been,
Dogs of War wasn't.
they've released one song with him, so we wouldn't know.
All right.
Yeah.
So Andy,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
The one song is terrible, and it's got no John Five characteristic at all. So we already know how that's going to be headed. But I've never been a Skid Row guy. When they came out, I was already moved on to something else. I didn't care for them. I thought they were a third tier band. So them being a band really, I'd be okay with Skid Row if they never formed. So you can skip me on this.
Oh, I love that first album. I got it with Youth Gone Wild came out.
I love all three that they did with him.
Oh, I love it all, man. It's.
I mean,
like,
it's
amazing.
okay, but I've got no opinion on
Well,
on,
love the-
on
I love-
how they're arguing.
I love the last album with Eric, and I like those two EPs with Solinger. That's the best thing Solinger did with them. And I was going, this is actually good. I went back and listened to the albums before those EP. Ooh, horrible shit. But Jerry, any thoughts on this, man?
I mean, I've said it, a lot of times. It's never going to fucking happen. I mean, I think Scotty, Rachel, and Snake are pretty happy with the direction the band's going in. There was rumors about Rob Affuso coming back. That's kind of died out too. I
Rob's
don't know.
playing
Yeah.
with Sebastian.
Oh, is it
He
really?
has been
Interesting.
for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that probably won't happen then.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
He kind of hitched his horse to Sebastian's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Huh,
Michael
Lor-
Anthony with Sammy. There you go.
Interesting. Lorraine Lewis leaves Vixen, huh?
Nope.
Maybe they like the female singer. Huh? No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. But
I
But-
wouldn't be surprised if
Well,
they
that was
offered
in the
Lizzie-
BS, and she already brought it up.
I wouldn't be surprised if they offered Lizzie something a little bit more permanent after the reception, honestly.
Lizzie Hale is much bigger than them right now.
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
Much bigger.
Because
I
she
don't
has
think
a-
she would do that.
She's much bigger to the modern audience. If they work around Hailstorm, I fully think that
Hmm,
she would
possibly.
do something. Because
Yeah.
honestly, I think if basically, if they say, "Hey, we won't tour as much. You can be our permanent lead singer," it gives her something to do on the side. It gives her a bit of a break from doing Hailstorm. I
Well,
wouldn't be
that's
surprised,
pretty.
especially with the reception that it got.
That's pretty much what bands like Skid Row have to do. They have to tour a lot to make money. So I don't know.
I don't know.
If that would be worthwhile. I don't know.
Hell, I wouldn't be
But,
surprised if they brought in Lorraine Lewis.
That was a joke, but I just popped in my head as we were talking about that. It's like, okay, yeah. Lorraine can bring it. She's a great singer.
Oren
Now.
Thonti could be the lead singer of Vixen.
Orianthi's probably bigger than Skid Row right now. I mean, seriously. I mean,
Well-
but nah. I said it before and I said it again. It's never going to happen. So that's all I have to say.
Well, aren't the guys from Skid Row pretty well off when it comes financially?
Oh yeah,
Well,
So-
they're still making a decent amount of money from those old songs, I'm sure.
yeah.
Jake and
So,
Rachel said we got money. We saved our money. We didn't blow our money, so we're good. We don't need him.
right. So,
Yeah.
so they can do this little side thing with Lindsay if
Lizzie, yeah.
Lizzie if they let her do Hellstorm, as her main gig, and then when they're in the middle, go off and do something with Skid Row, maybe record an album and do little tours here and there. That's something that I think the band would consider.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Especially-
opposed to it, but like
Especially
I
at
said,
their
it's a
age.
step down for her. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Maybe
she could
just-
do both. Side projects.
Maybe just do something like the festival circuit or something.
Yeah.
yeah, like on in the summertime.
Yeah, but for
you know?
a singer
Yeah.
being in two bands, well, Michael Sweet does it a lot. That fucker sings a lot.
Well, Michael
But-
Sweet he only tours with Striper. He doesn't tour with anybody else.
I know, but he sings on everybody else. He wants to do a Lynch.
Oh
Sweet
yeah,
Lynch.
which I'd pay to see that.
Yeah, I would pay to see that too.
Oh well, the thing is that you got to be careful when you do something like that, because then both bands can melt into one sound, a la Zach Wild when he was doing his own band and Ozzy started to sound the same.
Yeah, it was.
Where
It was
Ozzy said,
You know what I always wanted to see? You guys are probably gonna laugh at me. Fucking Pearl Jam Soundgarden tour with fucking Temple the Dog opening. And Eddie could have came out saying one song, and then the rest could, I would have been cool. Chris Cornell would have had like two bands singing, but
I mean, that's nothing laughable, but it would
No.
actually be kind of
It would've been
cool.
cool.
So
that,
They
that,
would've
that-
done
that's rough for any singer to be, especially
yeah,
a
that's what I
singer
was
that's
just saying. But
doing the kind of stuff that Chris Cornell's doing. I mean,
Yeah, but to do Temple of the Dog and then have Pro Jam play like an hour and a half to 2 hour set where
break 'em up.
where Cornell could have
yeah,
rested his pipes and then do the
Yeah, but-
same hour and a half to 2 hours with Soundgarden as a
poor,
dual open closers.
poor freaking Matt Cameron will be playing all three.
oh yeah, well,
we're
it's easier
thinking
for a
about
drummer,
the-
maybe. I don't know.
No, it's not.
it's not
I-
easier
I
for a
know.
drummer.
I know Wild Mick Brown quit
fine.
because he said he
I
can't
was
do it
gonna say.
anymore. Yeah.
Okay,
And especially
don't get me
him.
started on that, Mark. I was at the first show he didn't show up at. I was so pissed about that.
Well, I think we talked about that, didn't
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. I'm still not
All
over
right.
that.
I got another Sebastian story because I thought this was funny. I just saw this today in an interview with Metal something. What Sebastian Bach was asked if he would ever do a sing off with Fozzy frontman and wrestling superstar Chris Jericho. He responded, "The better question would be, would he do a wrestle off with me? Because I'm not much of a wrestler as he is a singer."
No, you quoted it wrong. It's I'm as much of a wrestler as he
Yeah,
is a
I'm
singer.
as much of a wrestler as he is a singer.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Well, I'm trying to read and look at you guys at the same time, so I skipped a word. So what do you think
Well-
about that, Joseph?
Well, these days Chris Jericho's not much of a wrestler either. So, yeah, no, Chris Jericho sucks. He has completely tanked his career over the last 5 years. He has, between the awful wrestling that he's doing in AEW
Terrible.
and the abysmal singing that he's been doing, and then of course the unfortunate allegations that were made against him like a year ago.
Yeah.
He has basically taken his legacy, which was one of the better legacies in the wrestling business, and just buried it. And it's always funny when he and Sebastian kind of go off on each other, because at least Sebastian is still like moderately okay at his chosen profession. Chris Jericho sucks at everything.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was I mean, wrestling is more than just strength and using moves. You need to have mic skills, and Chris is one of the best at the mic as far as wrestling.
Have you
but
heard
it's
his podcast?
But his
Oh,
singing
it's
career, man, I never liked it. So
His podcast is awful. It's like Chris Farley doing a podcast. You were the Beatles, right? Yeah, that was cool, right? That's what he reminds me of. Chris Farley
Well,
doing a
yeah,
fucking podcast.
and he's got his head so far up Paul Stanley's ass too. It's fucking
Oh,
funny,
God.
actually.
Well, I like
A
Crazy
lot of-
Nights,
a
but
lot
that's
of
his
Beatles.
favorite album.
Well, yeah. Have you heard any of the? He made a Kiss covers band that only covers the really shitty Kiss albums.
I know.
Like, imagine putting out a Kiss cover band that only covers the bad songs. from
Crazy Nights and Hot in the
Animalize,
Shade.
Crazy Nights, Hot in the Shade, and
I like
Revenge.
Crazy Nights. Sorry. I like most
Yeah,
of
but I
Hot in the
don't-
Shade.
But he's not even covering the good songs.
Well, yeah, he isn't.
Like, if he comes out and does like Thief in the Night or something, I'd be like, okay, that's go.
Oh,
That's
shit.
fine.
Hey, there's the
like-
obligatory Kiss news. There you
OMG, Kiss.
go.
I'm sure he did read my body too when he was, doing this thing.
So, what do you think about Sebastian Bach calling out Chris Jericho that he can't sing? But
Who?
let me say one thing, Andy. When I
Right.
saw them open up for Maiden, the guy was not at the mic a lot, and he was still singing. That
Oh, yeah, no,
motherfucker uses
He's
tapes.
he's been using tapes for years.
That's why he defends Paul Stanley, because he
Mhm.
fucking does it. He ain't gonna fucking
Yep.
out
Oh, yeah,
himself.
no.
So, Andy,
Well,
what
I
do you think
hate-
about that?
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news on this part of news, but I don't care anything about Chris Jericho. I don't care about his singing. I don't care about his wrestling. But what kind of allegation were there against him? Because I just know that he was really big in the wrestling world,
Uh,
and then he came up
about
with
a-
his band on Fozzy
Yeah.
that I didn't care for. That's
So
it.
about a year ago. So
Yeah.
a little bit of a background.
Okay.
He was for years like the guy that would go like out in every interview he ever did saying, "Well, I'll never leave WWE. I'll never leave WWE. I'm a Vince McMahon lifer, all this stuff." And then because his model in life is Paul Stanley,
Right.
he started noticing that these certain wrestlers in Japan were starting to get popular. And so he, at first, with WWE's permission, went and worked a couple matches in Japan with some of these wrestlers that were getting really popular.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, Tony Khan, co-owner of the son of the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, really rich dude,
Right.
is gonna bankroll this new wrestling company and offers Chris Jericho a shit ton of money to come and be one of like the big stars of this new company. He was their first world champion, all this stuff. Almost immediately started doing some of the worst wrestling he's ever done. Just basically anything that anyone wanted him to do, like anything that he thought the kids think is cool. I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna do all this stuff. He and one of the other wrestlers did a sketch during the wrestling show, where they literally did like a song and dance number, like a pre-filmed song and dance number where they sang "Me and My Shadow," and like it was atrocious. Yes, and like
Me
with
and
like
My
dancing
Shadow,
girls.
wow, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Me and my
whole
shadow.
thing
I
whole
know
thing,
that song.
and
That's-
it was atrocious. So he has like trashed his career. About a year ago, one of the female wrestlers that was contracted at the beginning of this company, but suddenly like mysteriously got fired from the company, all this stuff, wasn't allowed back,
Okay.
kind of made a hint, never said it directly, that he had been inappropriate with her, that he had asked her to come into his dressing room under the guise of like giving advice or something like that.
Yeah.
And then did something. And it was never confirmed or stated what that something was. And it kind
But
of
something
blew up.
happened. Inappropriate. Okay.
Yeah,
And it
there's a
kinda
little
blew up
smoke
into
behind
this-
that fire. There's a little
Yeah.
smoke behind that fire.
And
Oh,
it
yeah,
kind of
well,
blew up
yeah.
into a bigger thing.
Yeah.
And this was right before the whole Vince McMahon thing happened last year.
Right.
But it kind of blew up into this whole thing, and they wouldn't confirm. Like Tony Khan does all these like press conferences and stuff after their
Uh-huh.
pay-per-views, and they just the press just kept asking him about it, and he would never give a straight answer about it, and it was all this stuff because he's like famous for like making people sign non-disclosure agreements and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's all this stuff going on, and no one would ever confirm or deny. Basically, if you're in this position and one of your biggest stars that you're probably paying more money to than almost anybody else in your company is accused of something like this, and you know it for a fact it's not true, wouldn't you want to come out and say this is not true?
It's kind of
Yep.
odd
He
that
never
Khan
said
would
that.
right, but it's kind of odd that Khan would put himself in this kind of position. He's already the owner of an NFL team.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
no,
there's
well,
not much more you need.
the problem is he is worldwide because they also own a soccer team in England.
Okay,
Worldwide, he is known as like basically a rich kid that does a lot of cocaine and is just like basically a fan and like hugs everybody and like just
Yeah,
like,
supposedly he
is
treats everybody good.
really
I mean,
nice guy, but is like clearly in way over his head.
Right.
Okay.
But it also came out at the same time that when this girl went to talk to him and saying, "Hey, this happened," when it happened, his response was to make her sign an NDA, and then he fired her.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. And this Japanese Wrestling Federation or whatever it is. You know how they have Japanese wrestling on Access TV?
It's
Is that the same?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. New Japan Pro Wrestling is the
Ew.
company.
Hey man, how about
There's
that?
there's some good shit on there, man.
Yeah. Well,
You talk about Japanese wrestling, I think about Fat Bastard. I want to eat your baby. Get your
That's-
baby
that's-
in my
that's-
belly.
that's sumo. That's sumo. That's different.
Oh, whatever. I don't care. That's funny.
Sumo is different, very different. It's an Olympic sport.
It's sumo wrestling.
But no,
So-
I mean it. When I say Japanese wrestling, it's literally like WWE, except there's Japanese people doing it.
Right.
So they're doing like Police Academy with the guy with the off voice.
No.
No.
Okay. Just that.
But no, you're exactly right. Everything you said there about Jericho is right, Joe. I mean, as far as I think he's gotten lazy in the AEW. He looks like he's out of shape most of the
Oh
time.
yeah. Like
I mean, he was starting to go down the card in WWE a tad, but still,
which that was his big. He's come out years later and said when he and Kevin Owens had their storyline, they wanted that to main event WrestleMania, and
Yeah.
Vince McMahon laughed at them and said no.
Oh,
And
I
that
thought
was
his
like-
I thought his list gimmick was one of the best gimmicks in professional
which that was
wrestling. I
that
love
was
the
when
list.
that was going
Yeah.
when that was going
Yeah.
on, and then like he cost they put the belt on Goldberg, and I think they were like at the very beginning of WrestleMania. They were like second or third match on WrestleMania that year, and I think that was when like later interviews, Chris Jericho said that was the moment when he's basically like, okay, I'm kind of done with WWE.
But yeah, I mean, terrible singer. I thought he was a
Dude,
great
you can't
wrestler in
sing
his day.
live. It's all
He
tapes.
was, I mean, he was a great
He can't
wrestler
sing in the
his days,
studio.
man.
Yeah, he
Great.
can't. He did a horrible cover of ABBA, and I hate ABBA. So that was
But
even
yeah.
worse. That
Yeah,
was
but-
doubly worse. I had to listen to the ABBA song to see if it was good.
But yeah, I mean, he's just I don't know. He's a shell of his former self, man. In both, well, not that he never had a great career singing, but definitely in wrestling. So
It's like he's stopped being the athlete sport.
I mean, he was one of the most. He was up there with The Rock, in my opinion, as far as being able to
Right.
entertain a crowd and get
Yeah.
pops. I mean, he was that good at one time.
But he was also a great wrestler. I mean, like when he and
Yeah,
Shawn
he
Michaels
was.
had their feud, I mean, people forget back in WCW, he was part of the cruiserweight division in WCW.
Oh,
and-
they totally misused him in WCW.
Oh, yeah.
man.
Fucking Eric RMCP Jordan is going, fuck, why aren't I on that episode?
But yeah, no, basically he's turned into what Kiss was in the 80s. Any kind of trend that he sees that's getting any kind of traction with anybody jumps all over it. He wrecked MJF when he first got to AEW. Now he's doing it with Taz's son Hook. Basically anyone that has any kind of like, oh, they're getting over. They're getting the crowd reaction. I'm going to get on that.
Yeah.
That's what he's done.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
man,
we're,
so-
anyway, we're spending way too much fucking time on this.
Yeah,
goon,
well,
so
you
let's
guys are
move on.
wrestling.
Yeah.
I had to bring a wrestling story in here, so that's cool.
Yeah, you
man.
did this to yourself, Mark.
Yeah, oh, I did to myself. Well, I knew this was going to happen, but let's get to something that Andy might like to talk about, and I'm going to let him go first on this one because he's a huge baseball fan, and so are most of us. I don't think.
All
Are
of us.
you?
Yeah.
Us? Oh, this will
Yeah,
get
Joe
to you
is.
League
Baltimore
will
Orioles.
officially incorporate stats from the Negro Leagues. Hall of Fame catcher Josh Gibson will supplant the legendary Ty Cobb, which I think is cool, atop of the leaderboard for batting average. Gibson batted 372 throughout his legendary career, edging out Cobb's 366 batting average that was once the high water mark for the sport. I'm going to go first. I think that's cool because Ty Cobb is a fucking asshole, and fuck him. I think he should be obliterated from any fucking major league fucking record. But fucking Andy, you go first. That's all I got to say about it. What do you
Okay,
think
well,
about that?
Josh was a fantastic player, but he did not play for Major League Baseball. This is MLB records, and it should be MLB records. This is baseball. This is Major League Baseball, pro baseball. Unfortunately, almost 100 years ago or less, during the 30s and 40s, they had the Negro Leagues. That's just the way it was. So you cannot supplement an MLB
But what did
record.
those Negro League players do when they came into the MLB? They fucking dominated.
Yeah, they dominated, but
They
they did not.
dominated. So I think the record should be in there, man. It's fucked up.
No, because that was not accomplished in Major League Baseball.
Because they
Mark.
wouldn't let them in.
I'm sorry, but that's the way it was.
Oh,
And
dude,
you
Satchel
cannot-
Paige, all those fucking players, dude.
Yeah,
Come on,
yes,
man.
I'm very aware, but it was not Major League Baseball.
But there,
You can't do that.
the Josh Gibson is in the Major
Right.
League Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he is, and that's fine because the Negro Leagues are inside the MLB Hall of Fame. But when it comes to records and numbers, those numbers were not accomplished during Major League Baseball.
What do you think about it, Joseph?
I find it similar to saying that the Toronto Argonauts are the most accomplished team in the NFL.
But the thing is, no player from the Toronto Argonauts came into the NFL and dominated. All
yeah,
those
yeah, they
players from the
did.
Negro League
Yeah,
did.
they did. They
Yeah.
do. A lot of players go to the CFL for a few years and then come to the NFL. It happens a lot.
Look at Warren Moon.
Warren
Doug
Moon,
He's
Flutie.
a Hall of Famer. Oh,
Doug
As-
Flutie.
Doug- as
but they
the
didn't
Toronto
carry.
Argonaut.
But they didn't carry their numbers over.
No.
Everything started from the ground.
Yes. Just because Rocket Ismail went from being a great player at Notre Dame to going and playing at the Toronto Argonauts, being like a 3-time CFL MVP, and then going and playing for the Raiders for a while, his CFL stats don't count towards his stats in the
But
NFL.
wasn't the Negro League, Major League Baseball having a separate league though? They
No,
owned it.
it was
They
separate.
associated
It
at
was
all.
very separate.
It was very
Um,
separate. Okay, I'm
yes.
just asking because
And
I don't know. That.
the biggest complaint I've seen, aside from it not even being officially Major League Baseball, is that his actual numbers are not even remotely close. Like the actual hits, he had a higher hitting percentage, but the actual hits were like thousands less than Ty Cobb because he had thousands less at bats.
Yeah, that's a good argument, man. I learn
And
something
really-
new every day.
And
And
really,
that's why
it's
I
not
ask these
being
questions.
racist at all. That's just the way it is. Those are just facts. And unfortunately, they didn't let the color bearers cross over. Unfortunately, earlier, because we're all humans. We're all the same. And unfortunately, they didn't see it that way back then.
Yeah, we all bleed red. It's actually blue, but when it comes to the oxygen, it turns red. Yeah, see,
That's a myth, Mark. That's a myth.
That's a myth.
That's a myth.
Well, we want to say that royalty isn't really blue bloods. We're all blue bloods. But what do you think about that, Joseph? I know you already been saying something
Yeah.
about it.
I mean, I think it's really cool that they're acknowledging those statistics. I don't think they should be integrated, and I hate using that word in that way because it's a
Right.
it's a very political word, especially when it comes to the civil rights movement. But I don't think that they should be necessarily viewed on the same scoreboard. I think
Right.
that they can all be recognized by Major League Baseball, but I think
And
you should say that you have Ty Cobb here, and you have I'm sorry, I forget his name. Mark, read the name.
What?
Name.
Name of what?
The gentleman that they're talking about.
Fucking. Hold on. Josh Gibson.
Josh Gibson.
Yeah.
I think you should have Ty Cobb here, Josh Gibson here. They're both on equal playing field, but they're not in the same record book because it's not the same league.
It's not the same thing.
Jerry.
And any
Awesome.
baseball fan knows all their numbers already. All these baseball fans already know the Negro League numbers. They know who they are. They know they're popular. They know they're important to the sport.
Yeah.
But they just weren't in Major League Baseball at the time.
Jerry.
I can care less either way. The only thing I care about is that Pete Rose belongs in the Hall of Fame. That's all I got to say about that.
I agree with you on that one, man. I hate the Reds. They fucked up the Dodgers a lot in the fucking big red machine. Fuck the Yankees though.
Roll.
You know what?
I like-
I'm over your team, Andy. So
We know.
I'm back to the Yankees. Fuck the Yankees.
Okay.
But
You should never have been upset with my team anyway.
oh fuck you. 2017 was a farce. There's no way.
It was
There's
2020.
no way that Kershaw.
Yeah.
2020.
You guys
Wow.
laid off his slider in fucking Dodger Stadium, but you
It's
knew that
already-
slider was coming in fucking Houston.
Of course,
Hey,
they're
hey,
professional
Mark.
hitters,
Hey,
Mark.
Mark. Hey, Mark.
No,
Hey, Mark.
They're professional
Hey, Mark.
hitters.
Hey,
no.
Mark.
Big
Mark.
slap.
Dude, every
Mark.
slider they laid off. The stats are there. Every slider he laid off.
Mark.
I said I was okay with the team, but you brought
Mark.
it up.
Mark, they're professionals. They know what's coming.
Hey, I
They
love
know
Dusty Baker. I love Dusty Baker.
Because his fastball was shit.
Dude, no.
Fastball is always shit. The last 3 months of the season, his fastball is shit. They know a slider's coming.
No, they didn't. Game one, they didn't know the slider was coming. He fucking
Game
shut them
one.
out.
We're about game 6 now. Game
They
6.
didn't know, dude. They had the fucking film. They knew what he
Oh
was
my
throwing.
God,
They
dude.
had the signs.
Mark, cry
Dude,
into your 2020
they're
ring. Leave it
professionals.
alone.
Shut
They're
up.
professionals. They were coached.
No, they weren't.
And y'all were stealing signs too. That
Not
season.
like that. We didn't use
Yes,
video.
they were stealing them electronically.
Andy, I gave your team a great compliment. I said I'm over the Astros, and then you brought it up.
Well, yeah, because there's no reason to get over them because they didn't do anything.
Well,
Just like y'all
come
were
on.
doing it.
You could have
Y'all
ended
were
it
doing
right
it
there.
too. Y'all were doing it too. You're never going to win against me, Mark, when it comes to that.
I'm not trying to win against you. We have a. All right. I love you, Andy. You know that. You're a brother. You know,
I
that's
love you.
cool that we could argue
I would
baseball
argue.
and just move on. Fucking
Are
you
we
already
done?
Fuck
brought-
you.
You already brought up.
Are we done now?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
I'm moving on, dude. I moved on.
Just enjoy your 60 game.
Oh,
road trip.
Yeah.
see,
Yep.
I was done. That was the hardest season to win. There was no
Hey,
fucking fans.
Hey, Mark. Hey,
Not at
Mark.
all.
Hey,
It
Mark.
was shorter than a high school season.
But the 2020 season is basically saying if they held the World Series tomorrow, who'd win?
Okay, but you can't say the Lakers played 77 games out of 82.
Oh no, I think the Lakers are a fraud. The 2020 rings of any team that won in 2020. It's bullshit.
no,
Yes.
There's-
no,
the
they
season.
fucking played 77 regular season games out of 82.
Yeah, now that's closer.
That's
It's
closer.
but they
But
still
the thing
played-
is, they
there's-
played with no fans. LeBron even wanted to leave the fucking. They couldn't bring family in, dude. It was horrible for them. They were depressed.
Well, of course,
course.
And
LeBron.
every fucking sports said that is the
Reagan-
hardest
Reagan-
championship
yeah.
to win in 2020.
Ranking
Yeah,
on that
that's a-
$15 million paycheck. It's so hard. I feel bad
No,
for him. They went
dude,
with their
LeBron
family.
wanted to leave, dude. He was
Of course
done.
you did.
They were sequestered from everybody, man. That was
Okay, so was almost everyone. Mark,
Yeah.
Mark,
I
we were
still-
on lockdown.
Over
Yeah.
1 million Americans died from this. Over 1 million.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
And
But
he
let's
can
get
All
cry
this-
for
right.
15
All
minutes.
let's
right,
get
all
this
right,
up
all
to
right.
get
Loaded in the
this.
morning.
I'm just wondering, Anthrax is Frank Bello joined as Sabacon for festival dates. Is Bello on the outs with Anthrax? I'm not going to talk to you, Jerry. You hate Anthrax. I'll start with you, Joseph.
Oh, I hate Anthrax too, but
Oh,
I wouldn't be surprised. Like it would really shock the hell out of me if they did something like bring back Dan Lilliker for like just 6 dates. Like they haven't played with this guy in 30, like almost 40 years. Actually, 40 years. It would surprise the hell out of me if Frank Bello leaves for like 6 dates and they bring in their original bass player and make this big deal out of it, and that's all he's coming back for. So it wouldn't surprise me if this is them basically like quietly letting Frank go do something different like he did in the early 2000s. It wouldn't surprise me.
what about you, Andy? Any thoughts on that?
No, man, I really don't.
Jerry, you hate Anthrax.
No, it's not that I don't like Anthrax. I think Frank and Charlie are very fucking solid rhythm sections,
Yeah.
even if I don't like them. So and that's pretty big news. I mean, he's actually a classic member of the band. So, well, all I can say is we'll see what's to come. I don't know. I can't give you what's going on there, but since it seems like something's going on, so to be continued, I guess.
Well,
All right.
well, yeah, I kind of sentiment with what Jerry and Joseph said because I like Anthrax a lot, but I just don't know that much about the in and outs of who's leaving and who's coming in. You know, just as long as they keep making good music is what I care about.
John Bush is my favorite singer in that
Same.
band. Yeah.
I like Joey.
I like John. I like Joey too, but I like John way better than him. But let's get to our
Yeah,
list,
Joey
Jerry.
knows
Man,
that.
let's start
All
this
right.
shit up, man.
Let's do our list. Songs that top 11 songs we talk about fire, minus hell, of course. So let's get going with Andy. What's your number 11, man?
Yeah, I just want to say I apologize for going off a little bit earlier.
Well,
My number 11. I'm going to start off of the album "So Far So Good So What" by Megadeth. I'm going with "Set the World Afire." So that's what I'm going to start off with. I love the guitar solos by Dave Mustaine. Back when Dave Mustaine was Dave Mustaine, you know. And sometimes, you know, these guys, of course, they lose their way. You know, especially when they've been doing it for over 40 years, man. You know.
Yeah.
But back then, he was really something. And I know that he had other guitar players, but on this song, he took over a lot of the soloing. So I'm gonna start off with "Set the World Afire" by Megadeth.
Cool. All right, Joe.
All right. So for my number 11, I went with what is, in my opinion, a very underrated song by a great band, one that they used to play live a lot, but they really don't play it live anymore. And particularly, I'm going to hold up a live album. I think the live version is the better version of the song, and that is Journey with Line of Fire.
oh, it's a good one.
Really great track. They played a lot on the Departure tour. It was on the Departure album. On the Departure tour that they recorded, captured on. It's on the Houston 81 video and album. They played it a lot through the 80s. And then they just really have not played it much since. And I think it always sounds great live. It's a really cool up-tempo song. Steve's vocals are great on it. It has kind of a really great rhythm to it. And it's always really come out well live. I wish they would come back to this one a little bit more. But yeah, Journey, Line of Fire.
That's a good pick. That's
Nice.
a good song.
Yeah.
All right,
Great
Mark.
song. Oh, I'm going. This is a song I had a laser disc player back in the day, and they had these laser discs like, and before DVDs came out, they were like the size of a DVD. And I bought this video because I love this fucking song. John Mellencamp, Paper and Fire.
Good tune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought the video on like a little laser disc, because like a little laser disc they used to have like a little,
Yeah.
looked like a DVD that came out
Yeah.
later. I had a Yamaha one that I had to turn over. It sucked. And then they had ones that you didn't have to turn over. You just played both sides.
That
But
was
Paper-
that was off Lonesome Jubilee, right?
Yeah.
No.
Great
Yeah, I
fucking
think it
song,
was.
Paper and Fire. I
Yeah.
love that song. I play that song a lot. It's one of
Yeah,
my
it's a good
favorites.
That's an awesome album too. I love those.
Yeah.
Oh god,
so
yeah.
good. It's up there with Scarecrow, in my opinion.
Scary. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Good stuff.
Another good pick.
Yeah.
All right, it's my turn. Here comes old Rose. She's looking mighty fine. Gotta go with Bob Seger, The Fire Down Below.
I knew you were gonna
Off of
pick
Night
that.
Moves.
I knew you were gonna
How do
pick
you know
that.
I was gonna pick that?
Because I didn't pick any Bob Seger because I know you guys are all Bob Seger fans.
I was like, we've talked a lot about Bob Seger lately, so I knew it was going to come up.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna come up.
But yeah, I mean, Night News, what a fucking great album that is, and that's just
Oh,
another
yeah.
great song off that album. I mean, we talk every time we mention Bob Seger, we talk about one of the fucking greatest songwriters of all time. One of those guys you never hear anybody talk shit or bad about. You know, he's just we're respected
Never.
with everybody, and that
Yeah.
song is just a fucking great rocking tune. I love it, man. I love that album. So that's how I'm gonna start mine off. Let's start with number 10, Andy.
Yeah, my number 10 is going to be off of this great album. My favorite album by the band. This is going to be off of Pyromania by Def Leppard. And I am going to go with Coming Under Fire. It's a deep track right there on the second side, almost at the end of this album. And at the end of the album, or you've already gone through this album, and it sounds like a greatest hits, rock till you drop, photograph, stage fright. Such an underrated track. I love that song.
They
Too
opened
Late
that with
for
a
Love.
stereo tour when I saw them. They had the curtain down, and
Yeah.
you hear Joe Elliott say, "I said, welcome to my show. Just you and me, babe. We have the whole damn night to go." And then the drums hit, the curtains
Yep.
fall, the lights, house lights
Mhm.
go on. Fucking great visual. I still remember that from '87, dude. You got
And
that
then-
in the round. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Tesla
That's
open.
awesome.
Fucking amazing.
And then you flip it, you get Foolin', Rock of Ages, Action Not Words, and then Coming Under Fire. Sounds
Yeah.
like a greatest hits, but it's not. It's freaking Pyromania.
Yeah,
So
It's like
that's
the
my
Cars
number-
and Van Halen's debut album, man.
The album should have ended there. I'll just put it that way.
Ooh. We haven't done Pyromania yet, just
It's a really good album. I love it. But that's my number 10 is that Def Leppard track.
good one. All right, Joe.
All right, so here is my weekly out of left field pick, and it is an artist that has been my out of left field pick many times on this show, and that is a really, really great song, one of the more rocking songs from the legendary Garth Brooks,
Oh.
"Standing Outside the Fire."
Yeah.
Really, really great song. I mean, took so much inspiration from heavy bands on this tour, and they have a really great concert video from this tour. He opened the show with the song "Standing Outside the Fire," and the entire stage. It was like Def Leppard's territory. It was in the round, and the entire stage just lit on fire. Like literally, the entire exterior of the stage, and the band is just standing in the middle of this big ring of fire as they're performing this song.
Yeah.
And it's such a cool visual. And it's a really great song, and the music video as well is really inspirational.
The music video, I remember that very
Yeah.
well. I love that music video.
A really great music video. It's about Special Olympics, basically.
Special Olympics, yeah.
Yeah, a kid with Down syndrome joining the track team. It's a really, really cool. It's a song about adversity, and it's just a really, really cool song. It's one of my favorite Garth Brooks songs, "Standing Outside the Fire."
It's just that he really looks out of place there in the stands. Everyone's dressed all
Yeah.
normal. He's a big old cowboy. But it's a very good video. I remember when it came out in the early 90s,
Mhm.
and that video always touched me. Always
Yeah.
did. Such a good song.
All right, Mark, you're up next, man.
Number 10. Nobody will pick this song because I think I'm the only one that likes this band. Calm the Fire from the Fortress album by Alter Bridge. I love that
That's-
fucking song.
I like
I like
Alter Bridge.
I like Alter Bridge.
Oh, I don't think you guys picked it.
No.
Yeah, nobody picked.
You
Alter
never
Bridge.
know.
I love.
I respect him a lot.
I love Alter Bridge. Miles Kennedy just broke into my top 10. I just got to figure
Yeah, I
out who
saw
my
that
top
too.
10 is because I forgot vocalist. But I said that earlier.
He's a
too.
great vocalist.
Oh fuck yeah! People like I don't understand. Like Nate Bushy doesn't like him. A lot of people don't like his voice, and I don't understand it.
As a wrestling fan, I gotta like Alter Bridge. So you know.
Edge's song, man. No, not Edge. Yeah, Edge.
Yeah,
right?
no, yeah.
Yeah, that is him. Yeah.
So Calm the Fire by Alter Bridge.
All right. I am going to go with my number 10 to the John Elefante days of Kansas. Fight Fire with Fire, man. Remember seeing that video all the time on MTV. Good rocking too. One of their more rockier tunes, man, for Kansas. Catchy as hell. Till this day. What album is that off of? I can't remember.
Is it Drastic Measures?
Drastic Measures, yeah. I wish my friend Brian was here. He's like a you know, I'll challenge. I'll put my friend Brian up with anybody on the web pages when it comes to Kansas. This guy fucking is a Kansas,
Mhm.
knows everything about Kansas. It's
Well,
amazing.
that was like the one big song on Drastic Measures.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being hit. I mean, and Steve Morris was a guitar player, right?
No,
That
no,
album?
that was not.
No, he
No.
wasn't. Oh,
No,
okay,
this was the last one before they broke up the first time.
gotcha. All right.
It was when Carrie was still in the band.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah, I mean, it was a cool tune. I enjoyed it, man. Good rocking tune. So I had to put that as my number 10. Let's go with number 9, Andy.
Yeah, my number 9. Joe might want to put me on mute on this one. My number 9 is "My Baby's on Fire" by Sammy Hagar.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah, it's a great
Why
Andy,
did
song.
I pick
Andy,
that
I
one?
gotta tell-
Baby's on
I got to
fire.
tell you something. This has nothing
What's
to
up?
do with what your pick is.
All right.
I finally discovered a Smashing Pumpkins song I like.
Oh,
What was
really?
that?
Which one?
Let me look it up real quick. I heard
Yeah.
it. I was listening to Sirius XM Lithium, and they did a
Yeah.
deep cut, and it came up, and I'm like, I've never heard this song before, and so I was gonna give it a chance, and
Yeah.
so I really liked it. I'm gonna check out the album, and it's the song "Quiet" off Siamese Dream.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Oh, that's a
good-
great
good song.
track.
Great track.
Yeah. I think that's the second or third track off of there. I think it's
Mhm.
second. But that is their best album is Siamese Dream.
So I
It's
am going to give it a
fantastic
chance
album.
because I finally
I agree
found
with that. That's my
I
favorite
finally
album.
found a Smashing Pumpkins
Yeah.
song that I actually liked.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite album. That was from 92 or 93, Mark.
It was
And-
something like I love
Yeah.
fucking
That broke
the
them.
song Rocket is my favorite off that album.
Yeah.
Love
And
Rocket.
that album broke them into the mainstream.
Yeah.
Of course, they weren't from Seattle or California or nothing like that. They came out of Chicago.
Yeah.
And nobody was coming out of Chicago at that time. And it's a very good album. I'm really glad that you're going to give it a shot. But also Standing Hampton, Sammy Hagar, My Baby's on
I thought
Fire.
I thought he was going to stop talking about it. Gosh darn it!
But side 1, I'll fall in love again. There's only one way to rock. Baby's on Fire, and it ends with the track Heavy Metal. So side 1's really good on this
Really
one, and side 2 is just as well. I really do like Sammy. So that's
Right
my pick.
on, man. I love that.
All right, Joe.
Nice.
Beat me to the punch, Jerry.
Oh, sorry.
Light Fire with Fire, Kansas. Great track. I for one, do like a lot of the John Elefante stuff personally, and I love the fact that they put this out. It's the original version of the Best of Kansas. I hate what they did on the CD version that they put out, like the remastered CD version in the late 90s, because they took off my favorite song on the album, which was the one new track that they recorded for this, Perfect Lover. I love that song. And they took that off the remastered CD, and I was always mad at them for it, but this is a 180 gram vinyl that has that on it. So yeah, Light Fire with Fire, great track. Got to see him play it live last year. Sounded great.
And I don't want to keep talking about Smashing Pumpkins, but just one more thing. When you're listening to that album, Joe, just keep in mind that Billy Corgan is playing all guitars, bass, everything. It's just him and Jimmy
Okay.
on drums. So it's really just a 2-man team along with Butch Vig. So
Mhm.
check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out with an open mind. I've always liked them musically. I have. It's just
Yeah.
it's always been his voice that's really
You like
just,
King Diamond?
it's not the same thing, Mark. Just because one person has a voice that is unique doesn't mean I like every person with a unique voice.
Well, I understand
because it's very
that, but
different things. King
I-
Diamond sings falsetto. Billy Corgan sings like a whining person.
But you like Geddy Lee.
It's not the same thing.
They have
Not
the
the
same
same,
type high
Not the
voices.
same
They have the
thing,
same
Mark.
tones, dude.
Maybe Rush's first couple albums, but after that, no, I didn't sound nothing.
No,
alike.
but there's tones in there of Billy sounding like Geddy
Okay.
and King Diamond. So
Okay.
that's all I'm saying.
okay.
There is nothing that that sounds remotely like Geddy Lee in like something like Bullet with Butterfly Wings.
No, but there's other
Just-
songs that he
That's
does.
the stuff I'm talking about. The stuff that really gets on my nerves. It's like that
Okay.
kind of stuff.
I love that song.
Just listen to me and not Mark when it comes to this, okay?
Okay, but you know,
I can
Billy
do that.
wears his influences on his sleeve. He does.
Yeah,
he
like
really does.
Geddy Lee.
Yes. And
Does
I
try
can,
to sing
I can
like him
appreciate
sometimes.
that.
Yeah.
There's another band that I hate that I'm not going to bring up that very much wears their influences on their sleeve, and I still hate them. So it's a band that's come
the
up a lot.
The Pumpkins do have that great guitar work that they're so.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
love it.
I have always liked their guitar work. I've really always appreciated.
I still don't hear any solos, but I got yelled at for
Oh,
that.
he
for
does a
last
lot
week, I
of
think.
solos.
Okay,
Where are we at, Jerry?
you're on me. I thought you're on you.
Oh, I'm on
you.
me? I'm on
Yep.
number nine.
Oh,
nine?
you.
Yep.
Well, Andy already picked the song up. Def Leppard, Coming Under Fire. I can love that song. Isn't it a wonder? You got me coming under fire. Okay, there's our karaoke portion of the show. There you go. So that's my number 9.
All right, my number 9 is a very underrated album from Stevie Nicks. The Other Side of the Mirror, her hit single
Okay.
off that, her hit singer off that, Rooms on Fire. I thought was a great track that didn't get as much, acclaim as I thought it would be. I thought it was one of her best singles released. It's an incredible tune. That album is really good too. I mean, she's always had a solid band. She's always had Waddy Wachtel on guitar, the same background singers through basically her whole solo career. But this is a very underrated album. For you haven't listened to it, go ahead because it's really good. It kind of got lost in the mix from 1989 because there was a lot of shit going on, music wise at that time.
Yeah.
So it kind of got put under the radar. But man, it's a good song and a great album. If you haven't heard it, listen to it. It's really good. And she looked fine as hell on that album too, by the way. Anyway, that's my number 9. Let's go number 8, Andy.
Yeah, I really do need to dig into some solo Stevie, and I don't. This is the only track that's going to be outside of the 1980, 1990. Since I talked about Sammy, I got to talk about this album that started all the music we hear from 80 to 90. That's going to be off of Van Halen 1.
I'm on fire.
And, yep, Going Was on Fire. A really great track that is never talked about because it's towards the end of the album.
That's one of the best songs on
Right.
there, man.
Yeah.
But
Good
really
tune.
good track. And yep, Van Halen.
I'm
a
on
great
fire.
great
I love
David
that
Lee
fucking
Roth, man. Shit.
Yeah.
That dude was just so good in his time.
I didn't
Some
pick it
people-
because I thought Joseph and Jerry would pick it. I had no idea you would pick that, Andy. That's
Really?
like-
Oh, I
Yeah.
knew Andy would pick it.
Oh, you did?
Mhm.
Oh, so I didn't pick it because I thought one of you guys would pick it. There you go.
All right, Joe.
All right. My number 8 is. Picked up the wrong thing. Hello. Oh, it's over here. My number 8 is a great song off an album that I don't own because it's an awful album. And so I will hold up a DVD that instead has the song performed live. And that is off of the atrocious album Come Out and Play by Twisted Sister.
Yeah.
The fire still burns. Fire still burns.
Bushy sent me that CD. He said, "Oh, you'll like it." I listened to it. I go, "No, I don't."
There's like 3 good songs on that album.
Oh,
Like
I agree
3.
with you. Leader
Yeah,
of the Pack is not one of them.
The title
Oh,
track.
Jesus.
The
Oh,
title track.
man.
Come out and play is a great song. Fire
Yes.
Still Burns is a great song.
Yes.
I Believe in Rock and Roll. That's
Yes.
it. That's it.
Yeah,
So,
Bushy said I would like
Twisted
that
Sister.
album that don't listen to the haters, and I listened to it. I go, yeah, there's 3 good songs on
I
there.
think-
Exactly what you said.
I think Love Is for Suckers is a better album. than
Yes,
No.
I agree. I like more.
Oh,
I mean, for
man.
God's sake, Wake the Sleeping Giant is better than anything on Come Out and Play.
Wow. Yeah,
I think
that's a-
Twisted Sister is so overrated because they took so
They
long
are.
to. They are.
I didn't
way
say
overrated.
that. I didn't
I
say
think
that.
they are. They made 2 good albums, dude.
They made 3 good albums.
Well, then what would
3.
Guns N' Roses? What would Guns N' Roses be?
I've always said Guns N' Roses was overrated. Jerry, get with the program here.
They are. I love them. I love Guns N' Roses, but they are overrated. They
Right?
don't belong in the Hall
Yeah,
of Fame.
but this is one of the greatest live albums of all time. So
Check it out.
All right, Mark, I guess you're up next, man.
My number 8. I don't think anybody picked this. From the album Good Trouble, man. I love this song. Keep the fire burning.
Great
Let
track.
it keep us warm. The world will keep on turning. Let it turn you on.
One
The
of my
harmonies.
one of the only songs I like off that album.
I love the song Good. I love that whole album, dude. I love that song. That album. I'm a huge REO Speedwagon nerd. You heard of Kiss Tards. You heard of fucking Maiden Tards. I'm an REO tard, but I won't put you down if you make fun of them. But I love Keep the Fire Burning, man. Great song. Great fucking. I love Good Trouble. I know it was rushed.
That's a good song. I like that song.
And
I
great
got on
album.
that playlist CD I was telling you about, Mark. The one that's like,
Have you ever heard Girl with the Heart of Gold? That's a great song too.
Mark, I own this album on CD. You can't tell me I don't like REO Speedwagon.
That album rules, dude.
No, it
That's
does
way
not.
better than Good Trouble. Way better than Good Trouble. Fucking Liar, Love is All Right.
I do like that
Love is
song.
Dude, the whole album is good, dude.
Again,
Love in
I'll
the
mention
Future is good too.
great box sets. Great box sets.
I love Love in the Future. Nine Lives is my favorite though.
Amazing album.
Yeah. All right.
All
man.
right. My number 8 is from the Brian Howell Bad Company years.
Asshole.
Man. I love No
Asshole.
Smoke Without a Fire.
I knew
man.
you were
think
gonna say
that's
that, bitch.
That's a great fucking tune, dude. I enjoyed their time with Brian Howell. I thought their music was fucking pretty good. I mean, that
Those
song.
3 albums amazing.
I mean, if he needed somebody, what a great fucking tune that was, man. I mean, Holy Water. I mean, give me that. I'll take that any fucking day of the week. I love that era. Of
I
Bad
love
Company.
fucking Dangerous Age, dude.
Yeah, good shit, man. It really is. So, and of course, the members of Bad Company don't agree with me on that session of the Brian Howell years.
Oh
but,
yeah, they sold 1 million copies of the Holy Water and made gold on fucking. Yeah, fuck you.
anyway, that's my
They
number.
just wanted to
8.
suck Paul Rogers' dick to get him back in the band. That's all.
Well, anyway, go ahead, Andy, with your number 7, man.
yeah, my number 7. I was so excited when this album came out because I was kind of let down about 3 or 4 albums after their For Those About to Rock album, because I love For Those About to Rock, but to me they kind of lost a little bit of steam, but they came back with Razor's Edge. Talk about Aces DC.
A lot of
I'm going
people
with
hate
Fire
that
Your
album.
Gun.
I love it.
Oh, I love this album.
I hate
I
that
absolutely
album,
love this album.
but I
Yeah,
love the
see?
song you're about to mention.
But Fire Your Guns is a fantastic track.
Yes, it is.
That's the second one off of there. I don't know why people don't like this. I really do like this album. I think it's
I
fantastic.
agree with you. I saw that tour
Yeah.
with LA Guns opening up for Hollywood Vampires.
It's a great tour. Doesn't
Oh,
mean the
yeah.
album's great.
Oh, I like the album, dude. I like Money Talks and Thunderstruck.
There's 3 songs that I love off that album. It's Money Talks, Fire Your Guns, and the title track.
Oh, I can't fucking
Are you
stand
ready?
Money. I can't stand Money Talks, man. I hate that fucking song.
That's
Sorry.
always been one of my guilty pleasure
I
songs.
love this
Uh,
song. There's
yeah,
no
me
such
too.
thing as a guilty pleasure, Joseph. If you like it, like it.
No, it is because I know it's a bad song.
Well, in your opinion.
come on. It just, yeah. I don't know.
But when I saw them in the Stiff Upper Lip tours. When I
Oh,
saw
I
them.
love that album, dude.
That was the only time I saw them.
New York
Yes.
City. Fucking great.
Yeah,
song.
dude, that was a good album. That was a
Feel
really good album.
safe in New York City.
And all that started because Razor's Edge.
Dude,
popped
that
up a
had
little
some
bit.
that album had different AC/DC riffs than they had years. I fucking
Yeah.
different. I loved it. Stood out.
All right. So, Joe, you're up next, man.
Alrighty. My number, whatever we're on,
7.
is 7.
7.
My number 7 is my favorite Metallica song of the 21st century.
Oh, interesting.
Halo on Fire.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
not the other one I thought you'd pick. Okay.
Really? Which one did
Halo
you think?
on Fire is well,
We're-
Off
What
kill them all. I'll just leave it at there.
kill them
Don't
all.
you mean Ride the Lightning?
No.
Okay, that's my least favorite Metallica song of the 80s. I hate that song.
Jump in the fire,
I
really?
hate that fucking song.
Oh man, dude, that's
Oh,
a
I
really?
hate
rule.
that song. I was gonna pick Fight Fire with Fire, but I picked Halo on Fire instead because I figured no one's gonna
That's a
pick
good
this
tune.
song.
That's a good
And
tune.
That's a
is-
great one.
My favorite Metallica song of the 21st century. Absolutely love it. My favorite song off this album. I love most of this album, but this is my favorite song off the album. I think James sounds really good on it, and the riff's great. They just the interplay on this album was the best they'd sounded in years, and I
Yeah.
really love the way the production sounds on this album. And this is a great example of it. Halo on Fire, great track.
That's got about 85% of greatness on it.
I agree.
I got the 3
Cut-
CD
you
set.
cut, like,
and
three-
they have the better version of Lords of Summer on there. It's faster.
That's what this is.
Yep. Lords of Summer on that rules. That version they released sucked. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I was so surprised because they released that Lords of Summer before the album came out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the album version
Like
fucking
a couple
kicked its
years-
ass.
A couple years before, it was
Yeah,
like
but-
really
Yeah,
ahead
it
of
was
time.
The album
Yeah.
version was faster and better.
Oh yeah, it's still not
Yeah.
a great song. It's still not a great song, but
Why?
I
Like,
think
but it was,
it's a lot better.
but you never thought that that's the way that album was going to come out
No,
at all, and it was still good.
hmm You cut like 3 songs off disc 2. You have a perfect album.
You got one of their best, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was towards the end of the album, where those songs that they could have done without.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot better than 72 seasons. That's for
Fuck
sure.
yeah.
I agree.
I
I
love
agree.
72 seasons.
Anyway,
It is
Mark.
better- It is better than 72 seasons.
Oh,
It is.
I like them both. Okay, I'm gonna get into a band that I fucking love, and I always fucking say, this band is 2 members, and it's always been 2 members: Billy Duffy and Ian Astbury. One of the best fucking albums of all time. Fucking Sonic Temple, Firewoman by The Cult.
Good tune.
I love this band. I fucking love anything they do. They fucking rule. Even the
I've never
last
heard
album
that
was cool.
band.
It went back to kind of gothic. The last album, it was fucking cool. I like how they go in between genres. I fucking love this band.
Yeah, Silent Temple was pretty much a Main Street rock album, pretty much.
So it was Electric.
Yeah, I love Silent Temple. I think
But
it's a
my
great
favorite
album,
Cult
so.
album is Ceremony.
They're just a band that I never really got.
Oh, dude.
I'm
I
not too
don't
familiar with that.
dislike them. I don't dislike
Billy
them. They're just a band that I
Duffy.
never really
Listen to
got.
those leads that Billy does. Oh my god, so fucking good.
I'm not too familiar with that song, Firewoman.
Yeah, I
Fire,
agree.
you
with
don't
Mark,
know
that's a good tune.
fire, smoke. She is a rising.
Familiar with it.
That song was all over MTV,
Yeah.
dude.
And,
I guarantee
you probably know it
heard
if
of
you heard it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know if you heard it. Yeah, I don't have the
It's
tune.
it's like the one Cult song they still play on the radio.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
the best song off that fucking album is fucking American Horse.
I think Edie's the best song on that
Oh
album.
no, no, that was a huge hit. But fucking American Horse, deep track, the day they tried to tame the American Horse. But Ceremony is their best album. Check out fucking White. That song fucking rules. All right.
All right, my turn, huh?
Yep.
Oh man, what a great! This is probably my favorite vocal by her, from her 1981 "Precious Time" album.
Oh,
Pat
good one.
Benatar's "Fire and Ice,"
Good
man.
one.
Mm.
What a fucking incredible singer she is! But her vocals on that are just so fucking in your face and emotional, man. I love it, man. She got her dues if you're a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame person a few years ago with her and her husband, well deserved.
Yeah, they were. Mhm.
And she still sounds fucking great. I mean, I haven't
Well,
seen her live, but I've seen
her 3
videos.
times in the last 2 years. Really good.
Oh,
And
wow.
she still sounds fucking great. I mean, incredible singer, incredible voice, man.
I just hate it that
Um,
she does Shadows of the Night acoustic. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Kind
don't
of hard
like
to do that song anyway live because there's so much in the background with the vocals.
I've
and
seen
all
it
that
live
that-
without
I have too.
fucking acoustic. So yeah, she could do it.
Oh no, she opened up the Grand Illusion tour when I saw Styx in the '90s. I had front row to that, and she was right here. I mean, right here in front of my face. So that was
That
really
is my
cool.
favorite song, and
And-
it did acoustic the last 3 times. Like, oh fuck me.
And she started out and she let off with that song. It was amazing, but there's the studio version, man, with all those gang vocals and then vocals, just it's so amazing. It's hard to do that song live unless she has tapes, but I guess it's a good thing she didn't use tapes, so that's cool. But anyway, Precious Time, great fucking album by Pat Benatar, man. Check her out. I'm sure you probably have already.
There's not a
everybody.
bad Pat Benatar album. Even the blues album is pretty good.
Tropico was kind of
I like
letdown,
Tropical.
but it was okay. Anyway, number 6, Andy, go ahead, man.
Yeah, my number 6. This album is not in my top 20 of all time, but I think I would put it in my top 50 of all time. Talking about the Cult, Sonic Temple.
Nice.
I'm going with
Just
Fire
talk.
Woman.
Yeah, you liar.
Of course, I know who the cult is, and I agree with you. I do like Ceremony. I got that on CD, but I got this on
Great fucking
cassette, and I
CD.
also have their other one on cassette as well. But Fire Woman, it's just great. I just love his vocals, and then you're so right about Ian and Duffy. They play so well together. I saw them live finally, and they were so good. They were so
I
good.
did too on that tour where they had that song For the Animals. You know, I saw them in LA. They were so good. And fucking these two fat dudes fucking took the tambourine away from me. Fucking because I grabbed it and these two fat dudes above me. I'm fat, but they were fatter. They fucking took it and fought with it. And Ian Asbury goes, "It's $1 tambourine, man. Let it go." It's cost $1. And I go, that was fucking
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I saw them at a festival that they only had one time here in Houston called Open Air, and that was a shame because I mean the cult was there. That was the first time I saw Ghost live.
Ooh,
Alice in Chains was there.
that's good.
Anthrax didn't play because it rained, but Slayer was there. Chevy Metal was there, which was fronted by
Taylor Hawkins.
yeah, yeah, and Buck Cherry was there,
I love Buck Cherry.
and that comedian from Half Baked. What's his name?
Dave
Jim
Chappelle?
Brewer.
Oh, Jim
No,
Brewer? Yeah,
yeah,
he's a heavy metal comedian, man. He's
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. So it was a really fun day, man. And when the cult came out, they were so good.
Did you
So
ever see
Fire
his Joe
Woman.
Pesci on Saturday Night Live?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah,
Okay, just asking.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So Fire Woman, my number 6. Yes,
Ooh,
I'm a
fun.
liar.
All right, Joe, go ahead.
Alrighty. So my number 6 is the title track off of one of my favorite Blue Oyster Cult albums, Fire of Unknown Origin.
Yeah.
Great track.
That
Just
is a good one.
great album. Production really great on this. Martin Birch for the win.
Yes.
Really, really great track. Really great album. Blue Oyster Cult, Fire of Unknown Origin.
Martin Birch is just an amazing, amazing producer. He was wonderful.
All right, Mark.
Okay, my number 6. We talked about Paul Rogers a little bit earlier because he brought up Brian
Yeah.
Howell. Fire and Water by Free.
Yep.
You know, I did like the Ace Frehley version too with Paul.
I did
on
too.
it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty
Nothing
good.
compares to the original version with Paul Boss. What was the guitar player in that band? You know, Free. And great guitar.
Paul Cott something. I don't know.
Yeah, Paul something, man. He was.
I'm
really
not
good.
a Paul Rogers fan, so
Oh, I love Paul Rogers, dude. Fire and Water by Free. That's my number 6.
Yeah, good tune. Oh shit, my thing is off here. Hold on.
We can't see you, Jerry. There you are.
There. Where are we
Hold
at,
on
Jerry?
here. Yeah, hold on. My phone is fucking up on me. Okay, here we go. From the Long Cold Winter album, a deep track from Cinderella. Another song, same title, Fire and Ice. Man, I think it's one of the better songs on the album. I'm surprised that wasn't released as a single. Again, a whole album is my favorite Cinderella album. Not a bad track on it. I love Tom's voice on the album. I love the bluesy sound of Cinderella, man. I know a lot of people were just, didn't like them coming from, from Night Songs to this, but man, I absolutely loved their turn to the bluesy style. This is more of a rocker tune, not really bluesy, but still a great song in my opinion. So, yeah, gotta put that in as my number 6. All right, number 5, Andy.
Yeah, I really like the way that they showed that there were more than just Night Songs. Because it's hard to say because their career kind of stalled here and there, but they made a good move by making a completely different album. My number 5 is going to be off of one of my favorite Ozzy albums, and I'm talking about "Fire in the Sky" by Ozzy off of No Rest for the Wicked. It's a great album. I really enjoy it, and "Fire in the Sky" is a really good track on here.
made my
So
honorable
this
mentions.
also introduced Zach Wow to the world on this album. So Ozzy Osbourne, "Fire in the Sky" for No Rest for the Wicked.
Cool. All right, Joe.
Yeah, that's a great track that made my honorable mentions. But my number 5 is an amazing song that hopefully I will be getting to see this band play later this year because it's been in the news this week. Wasp is playing their entire debut album on the road this year. And so hopefully I'll get to hear the amazing track, Sleeping in the Fire. Amazing track. I mean, this album is just by far their best album. And Sleeping in the Fire is one of my favorite Wasp songs. Great track. And yeah, so I'm excited.
You got that on vinyl?
I do not know.
I'll send it to you. I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
So I'll send it to you. I will ask for your address and I'll send it to you.
Cool. Thank you.
Do you have any other?
I like it too, Andy.
What album are you talking about?
Wasp.
Sorry.
No, I
that's
just
great
have all their stuff on CD.
That's great.
All right.
All right, Joe, you're up next, man.
I just did.
You
not.
just did his. You're
Oh,
pulling a
shit.
mark there, dude.
Yeah, I did.
I
Just did
am.
Wasp.
It's my turn, right?
It's that Mark guy's turn.
A Mark guy. Who's that Mark dude? I don't know. I'm gonna pick Fire in a Hole by Van Halen. Joking.
Thank
I
you.
do like that song, but yeah, I'm gonna pick Blood and Fire off A Different Kind of Truth, Jerry. I know you hate that fucking album, but like, I love that.
I
fucking
don't want to
song.
hate the album. It's just not as good as everybody fucking thinks it is.
It is just as good. It's like I love Sammy, but that album fucking brought back the swagger, man. It brought back the fucking mojo.
As soon okay, they started out bad with fucking Tattoo. I hate that
Yes.
fucking song.
Yeah,
dude.
well,
Yes,
get
they
rid of
did.
that
and
song.
I never could fucking look past that song.
Chinatown,
Never
liked that song.
as is the
Bullet
best song of
Head.
that album. Bullet Head.
Go ahead.
And then
Oh my God, so
listening
heavy.
to listening to that shit show live was just
Dave
Oh,
Frosty.
that live album was horrible. Oh my God, that live album.
that whole there's a fucking 6-pack of Van Halen, period.
Honey Baby Sweetie Doll.
Oh God,
Stay Frosty. I mean, just fucking lame.
Dave
tunes,
Frosty
man.
is awesome.
Dave Frosty's great.
That's one of
Whatever.
Dr. Fuck's fucking sayings now. Dave Frosty, man.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, you
Still.
said that. I didn't.
Well, whatever.
When I said it was Dr. Fuck saying, you went, whatever.
I don't give a shit what people think, man. If they like a song, I like a song. I don't
just fucking
care.
with you.
Be afraid, Jerry.
Be afraid.
No, me and Ralph agree like on 95% of fucking music, but there's some things we don't, and that's one.
I'm
that,
just joking.
that album was one of them. But all right. Anyway, now that we're done with that Nerf Herder song,
Nerf Herder.
okay.
Fuck you.
This actually has
Nerf
two words that have to
I
do
thought
with
you were a
fire.
Star Trek fan.
Never thought our love could last for so long. Burning like a flame, back for attack. Dawkins, man.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
What a fucking great album that was, man. A shit show
Yeah.
of a tour, as all Dawkins tours are, but
Of course. I am testament to how shit.
oh, I am
Dawkins
too.
tour can be.
Oh, all right, Jesus. I saw the Monsters of Rock tour. They were terrible on that one. And I think it was this album, I think. But anyway, love that fucking song.
It was
The
that
band-
album.
The band on fire, that whole fucking album, dude. It's a shame they couldn't fucking, convey that live.
Well, at least we got a good fake live album out of it.
True, okay. But yeah, what a great tune, man. I love that song. Heaven Sent,
that
what a
whole
great
album.
fucking yeah, it really is good, dude. But anyway, that's my number 5, Burning Like a Flame. I added 2 fireworks in my title, man. See if you guys can beat that.
Nah, probably not.
No.
All right, number 4, Andy.
Oh, wait, I might.
I'm kind of on the same page as you, Jerry, for my number 4, but it's a different track. Into the Fire
Yeah.
by
that's that one.
Dawkins. Off of Tooth and Nail. I love Tooth and Nail. This is a really good album. But Into the Fire. Into the Fire.
Yeah.
Into
So yeah,
the
this was on the
fire.
Electra.
I'm falling.
Into
So,
the fire.
You know what? I gotta get this in. When I worked at In-N-Out Burger, my manager kept putting me on fries because I was the fastest fryer there. And he would be working speaker, and I go, "Take me back where I came from. I don't want to work these fries no more. You put me here, and it's not the same. I've fallen into the fryer." I used to say that all the time to him. And he goes, "Shut up, Mark."
I worked at Burger King for a big portion of my life. We never ever had somebody that just fucking worked the fry station.
Oh no,
man.
In and Out, you have fries, you have a cook, you have a speaker, you have windows, you have a walk-up.
Usually the
Oh, that-
Expediter did fries.
Come on.
Of course, Burger King's not In and Out Burger. I get that.
Dude,
but
I
still.
had to clear cars and hand out the orders and work fries at the same time. I was faster than anybody at that, so that's why I always put me into the fryer. So there you go.
All right. Anyway, Joe, you're next.
The opening track to a very, very overrated album, in my opinion, but it's a great track. Rapid Fire,
Nice one.
Judas Priest, British Steel. I find it to be a very overrated album. Has some great tracks. Rapid Fire is one of them. Amazing way to open this album. One of my favorite Judas Priest songs of that era. This is, again, like I said, it's not one of my favorite Priest albums. It is one of my favorite Priest songs. Rapid Fire, great way to open an album. I'd love to see them do this live. Great track.
All right, Mark.
All right, so we get to my number one and my number
What?
4. I mean, Crossfire by Stevie Ray Vaughan. Don't know, I'm standing caught in the crossfire from his last studio album because he died in a helicopter accident after this, and then we got The Sky Is Crying later, but that was just something he was already working on. But Crossfire, man, fucking great fucking
Yeah,
song,
great
great
song.
rhythm, great groove. There you go, groove. And it's not Oingo Boingo. There's the Oingo Boingo reference. All right, Crossfire.
Cool. All right, mine is I got a fever raging in my heart. No, I ain't picking that fucking song, dude. No Heaven's on Fire.
No Kiss.
I am picking what am I picking? Oh, You're Gonna Get Your Fingers Burned by the Alan Parsons Project, man. Another great fucking tune. Actually, I can't remember who sings in that one. I know Eric Wolfson wrote it, but I can't remember who actually sang the song. Do you know, Joe, by any chance?
We're gonna find out here in about 5 seconds.
I think that's numerous great singers he's had with him. Like I said, I keep telling you guys every 5 minutes I'm going to see him next month. Looking forward to it. Love that tune, dude. I love the singer. I don't know who he is, but fucking amazing voice and a cool tune. So that's mine. I think it's off the Eye in the Sky album, if I remember
yeah.
correct. So yeah, so that's my number 4. Let's go with your number 3, Andy.
Yeah, Jerry, I don't know what's wrong with Heaven's on Fire. Number 3, Heaven's on Fire.
Oh, he's got the
Also,
Kiss
in
song.
my life,
Golf clap.
Which
Nothing
is,
wrong with that. I like the song. Nothing wrong with it.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
it.
which is just an okay album, but I really do love Heaven's on Fire. It's one of their better known tracks off Animalize. Also like Burn Bitch Burn. I know a lot of
I
people
love
don't
that
know
song.
Yeah.
Burn, bitch.
Mark
I-
Dolly
I-
loves that song too.
I have another song from that album as my honorable mention, and nobody's mentioned it yet.
Huh.
The opening track. I've had enough.
Right.
Into the Fire.
I've had enough. Yeah. All right, Joe.
And as a quick update, it was sung by Lenny Zakatek, who sang a lot of their hits. He sang "I Wouldn't Want to Be Like You." He sang "Games People Play."
Who was it again? I'm sorry.
Lenny Zakatek.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he sang.
horrible cover Tesla did.
What?
Games people play that Tesla did off Bust a Nut.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Yeah,
That's
that was
pretty
pretty bad.
Yeah, pretty bad. The only
All
song
right.
I don't like on that album.
Yeah, it didn't work when they did it.
No.
All right, my number 3.
Yeah.
Andy just mentioned it. Dokken, Into the Fire. Love this track. One of my favorite Dokken songs. It is featured in the opening scene of one of my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movies, Nightmare on Elm Street 3. One of the first times I heard it, I mean, my dad had Dokken Greatest Hits album, and I grew up. I never really knew this album as much. I knew front to back Under Lock and Key, but I never really knew this album as much growing up. So the first time I heard this song was when I first saw Nightmare on Elm Street 3 when I was younger. And so just because of that, it's become one of my favorite Dokken songs. Really, really great track. Dokken, Into the Fire.
Yeah, I start off the same with Under Lock and Key because I was like 12 when that came out. So after I bought that, and then I moved back, and then of course back for the Attack came out, and then their double live album, Beast from the East, is just as good. I love that double live album, so good.
I got
The
the
album
Rock Candy
collection.
version. They didn't fix it that good though. It's still muddy, but it's still a good album.
All right, Mark.
So where am I at? Number 3?
Number 3.
Well, I'm getting 2 fires in a song. Fight Fire with Fire by Metallica from Ride the Lightning. Love that fucking song.
Okay,
Somebody
I
at
guess
work-
I got 2 songs with fire in it. Okay, cool.
Okay,
Never mind.
so Fight Fire with Fire by Metallica. I love this. Fight Fire with Fire. It's a ride.
What a fucking assault on the senses that song is. It
Yeah.
starts with this
Yes,
little
it is.
clean acoustic tune, and then
Just fucking just-
it's like fuck. It fucking kicks you in the ass. So
One of
quick. What
my
a great
younger rock fans who thinks Ice Nine Kills is a good band loves Metallica, but he says that's not one of the best Metallica songs. And I looked at him and go, "I'm not talking to you for at least 5 minutes."
tune.
So,
Well, that means I guess you're not going to talk to me for the rest of the episode, Mark.
oh, Ice Nine Kills. You like Ice Nine Kills?
No, I don't think "Fight Fire with Fire" is one of the best Metallica songs.
Oh, but I think it's a great
I've
song.
never loved that song.
Oh.
I like it.
love that fucking
I
song.
like it, but I think it's the weakest song on that album.
Well, I have to talk to you
Ooh.
on the show. That was a joke with him, though. But that's my number 3.
But you know what? Now that I think about that, Joe, so that's that's a fair answer because I think the whole fucking album's pretty solid. So I can get where
People
might not
usually
be
say
one of the
"Escape,"
better
but I like
songs on-
I like "Escape."
I love
better
Escape.
than-
James hates that song. I
Yeah.
love that song, dude. I would love for them. Did they play that? They haven't played that live in
They
like
did it live
forever, huh?
once.
Did
They played
Yeah.
it live once when they did the whole album.
Yeah, but what a great fucking tune. I love that tune. I mean,
Mhm.
it is a little poppier, I guess, for Metallica back then.
It is.
It was a cool tune. All right, so it's my turn.
Yeah.
It's my turn. I'm about to go with Andy and Mark. I love "Firewoman" by The Cult, man. I love that
Nice.
song. Never gets old. It's on the radio a lot. I never turn it off. Never get tired of it. Sonic Temple, great fucking record. Blah 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 blah. Number 2, Andy.
Yeah, I agree with almost everything. I'm sorry, that Joe said about this. I love this song, but this album is so overrated. There's so many better Judas Priest albums.
I agree
But
with you.
Rapid Fire is number 2. I remember when I was so excited to get this because I had heard so much about it. When I heard it, I was like, ugh.
United, dude.
United's horrible.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just so bad. And I love so many others, but just United is just so bad.
Isn't it?
So bad.
Screaming for Vengeance, Stained Class, Rock and Roll is even better than that, I think.
People always throw "Take on the World" in that same hole as United. I'd much rather hear "Take on the World" than United.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Stained Class was so much better than this.
That's like a Manowar song there, right?
I've never
What's
heard
up with all? I mean, the Manowar is like taking over all the fucking rock and roll fucking.
Because they can.
Are they really that good? Because I've never really.
No, no.
I like Manowar. I love
like
fucking
'em.
Manowar.
I like
They're
them. I
great
don't
music.
love them.
Well, you
If you
drink
go- if you-
White
if you-
Claws, Jerry. Of course you like Manowar.
if you go, and I'm a MILF person too, by the way, Mark. And your mom is one of them. Anyway, I love
She's been
them.
dead since 2004, so enjoy the crusty.
Yeah, I know. I'm into weird shit. I can't help myself. Anyway, no, I mean, if you go by fucking songs like "Blow Your Speakers" or something like that by Manowar, you're gonna say a bunch of posers. But if you go deep dive into their shit, it's pretty good, man. It's pretty solid.
Dude, the
man. I thought
lyrics
so.
are all bad.
Dude, it's a fucking rocket. It's just what's wrong. And you think Poison writes fucking great lyrics?
Hey, Poison's fun, but they're not like fucking. If I
Mark,
want to
you
hear
like
about,
Sammy Hagar? What are you? talking
if I want to hear about
Hail,
dragons and kings,
hail.
Hail and
and
kill.
kings and I
Hail and
listen to
kill.
Dio. I listen to Dio if I want to hear about dragons and queens and shit, or Led Zeppelin with Lord of the Rings, shit like that. Manowar's fucking stupid.
Gotta love that man meat. Just kidding. I don't love that man meat, but yeah.
I love Sammy.
Yeah,
so
I'll
fuck
give
you.
That's a
He's
beef.
better
cake
than
there, man.
Manowar. I bet even Ian would say Sammy's better than Manowar.
He did.
I don't
He
think
did
he'd
say-
go that.
Thank
he
you.
did.
No way.
He
No
did.
way.
Yeah, he
oh,
would.
Man.
I agree
Is he-
with Ian.
You see, because I never heard a lick of Manowar. I just
Well,
read about it.
You're lucky. I tried.
Yeah. I just look at it. I'm like, that doesn't look like something I'm going to like to hear.
Yeah, you
know?
don't want to look at it. Okay, I'll give you
No,
that much.
no,
but
no. It's like they
listening to it's a
belong on-
different thing.
It's look
Yeah.
like they kind of look like they belong on in those paperback novels at the checkout stands.
They
At the
look
grocery
like
store.
Fabio.
Yeah, I almost made the band back in the days. I mean, we look kind of similar, but
Oh,
you know,
shut up. I seen
I,
your
I,
mullet.
I chose to pursue. I wasn't a fucking mullet. I had it tied back in a fucking.
It looked like
Uh,
you had it big hair and it was like looked like a mullet.
I have a fucking mullet.
You that picture you show at the prom kind of
That's
had
not
a
a
It wasn't
you
a
had a long
mullet,
mullet.
dude. It wasn't a mullet. Shit was fucking
can
bringing in my
hear it.
eyes, man. How was that a mullet?
I
Oh,
just
and what
wanted
the
to
fuck
go
are we doing? What are we on anyway? Number 2.
My
You're
number
talking
2.
about your hairstyle, Jerry, back in the 80s.
I had what every guy had back then.
Oh,
He was
I had short hair, bet, dude. There you go.
like, whatever. Well, that just says something right there.
Yeah,
I
'cause
used to have hair down
I
past
wore
the
jeans
foot for a
and
while.
I wore jeans and t-shirts. I didn't wear Michael Jackson clothes.
And a
like-
Warner bra, probably. But you know, whatever. I'm just kidding, dude. What are we on? Number
number
2. Who are we
2.
on? All right.
Number 2. Who's number 2? Me?
Mine.
Joseph.
I didn't do mine
Go
yet.
Joseph.
Well, is it any wonder they got me coming under fire? Like Andy said, it's practically a greatest hits album.
Yep.
Yes.
And it's Coming Under Fire is one of the best songs on the album. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's one of the ones that people don't talk about as much. But like
Yeah.
you said, so I mean, just going through Rock, Photograph, Stage Fright, Too Late for Love,
Too
Die
Late
Hard,
for
the
Love's my
Hunter,
favorite song off that
Die
album.
Hard, the Hunter,
Oh, it's a great song too.
and then side 2. Like I said, I think it should probably end with Coming Under Fire, but yeah, great track. One of the most underrated songs on the album. Probably everyone knows it anyway because it's Pyromania, so they know the whole
Yeah.
album. But
Yeah.
still, great track.
Mark.
Number 2. I'm gonna go. Somebody already mentioned "Fire in the Sky" by Ozzy. I love that. I put up a thing saying what's your favorite Ozzy solo album, and everybody's been picking fucking Diary or Blizzard. And I put No More Tears. And
Yeah, I
somebody
saw
else,
that.
somebody
That's
put
their,
No Rest
that's
for the
their third
Wicked.
best. That's
That
their
was
third
cool.
best. That's his third
I-
best.
I'm not
That's
gonna
that's
go
his
with-
4th best for me.
But that's the album I got into Ozzy with. So
Mine was
that-
Blizzard.
that-
Blizzard was the one that got me in.
Blizzard,
Well,
I
was in
love
Ozzy with
Blizzard. I
Sabbath
love
first, but-
Diary's my second favorite, but No More Tears is the album I discovered Ozzy. So there you go.
Yeah, I think I would put No More Tears at either 3. I'll probably put it at number 3, and then No Rest for the Wicked. Number 4.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. I think 1 and 2 are going to be pretty much with everybody's, you know.
Yeah,
Diary
Yeah,
and
I
Blizzard.
agree with that. They grew up with that, but
Moon is so good.
my thing that got me into fucking Ozzy was just fucking hearing that fucking guitar solo on the song "No More Tears," and it had a lot of fucking
Yeah,
time
but that,
signature.
that album is really inconsistent for me.
I love
There's a
that
lot
whole
of
album.
really bad stuff on that album. But there's a
Oh,
lot of
but
really
Bark-
good stuff on that
so
album.
good.
Yeah,
See, Bark Moon was the first album that I heard from Ozzy. That was
That-
the first one I bought.
yeah.
Was Bark Moon.
Honestly, if I think about it, No More
Great.
Tears is probably my 5th. I would put everything that came before it except for Ultimate Sin over it.
Oh, Ultimate Sin's one of my down there in the barrel for me.
Yeah,
I've never liked Ultimate
Yeah.
Sin.
yeah.
It's a terrible album.
Give me Shot in the Dark and maybe like one other song, and that's about it.
Killer
I
of
love the
Giants.
title track.
Killer of Giants, yeah. Give me Killer of
I
Giants.
I love the
That's it.
title track too.
I hate the
That's
title
only
track.
one,
Whoa.
but I just didn't
I
like
like the
that.
video for it. I like the video for it. I thought it was pretty funny.
Ozzy in Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's
And
my
that
number
whole
2.
era,
Fire in the Sky, Ozzy Osbourne.
he was dressed like the god people from Designing
Yeah.
Women. It was
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, I think him and Gene Simmons got together back then. It's like, how
Yeah,
the fuck can we do here to
It's Ozzy's asylum outfit.
Oh my god, it's so bad. Now Kiss, you didn't. You're like, oh, okay, but when Ozzy was doing it, you're like, what the fuck?
Well,
What
Judas
the-
Priest was
what
doing
the-
it too.
Yeah,
Scorpions were doing it too.
I guess that
No,
was
but
the end.
I don't know. Kiss really did it, man. I mean,
That
especially
a lot
Paul.
of cocaine.
Yep.
Yeah,
Except for Kiss.
Paul had the Dayglow gloves on, and
Oh, that was his. He looked the happiest in Kiss during that part of Kiss, and he looked really
He looked
happy
right
in
at
the video. Yeah. All right, my number 2 is their only song so far that all 4 of us agree with or have on our list. "Coming Under Fire" by Def Leppard, man. I fucking love that tune. man.
Yeah.
One of the first
Well,
albums I I mean, one of those great fucking albums that I listened to growing up as a kid, man. Never get tired of it. God, I went through like 4 or 5 different cassettes of that in my lifetime because fucking thing would always get eaten up on my fucking tape player. It pissed me off. That and The Wall, those 2 cassettes always used to get eaten up for some reason on my cassette player. But
Well, for the
Yeah, I mean,
walls, because it was such a long cassette.
it was long, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know why the Def Leppard one did. That's not a normal, length EP or cassette. I mean,
Yeah.
but
I think I have that on cassette too.
But yeah, what a killer fucking deep track from Def Leppard, man. That's definitely their best era, hands down. And that's my number 2. All right, man. Number 1, Andy.
Yeah, my number 1, of course. I love Fight Fire with Fire off of Ride the Lightning by Metallica.
Look at that album cover. That is badass, man.
That's a badass album cover, dude. Yeah. This is a original print too as well. I've had it for a very long time. Off of the Electra, it's got the little Mega Force up there in the corner. But yeah, when we were doing this, or when I was told about this, I jumped right on, and that was the first song that came to mind was "Fight Fire with Fire." So,
Yep.
I know that y'all were talking about it's not the best album, it's not the best song on the album, which is true, but this is such a great album. Even though it's not my favorite, my favorite will always be Master of Puppets. But
there's not a turd in either 2 of those albums. So you know. So all right, Joe, number 1, man.
Well, I'm hanging 10, baby, as I ride your Sonic Wave. Good God, y'all. I'm on fire.
I'm on fire.
I mean, it couldn't be anything else. I mean, Van fucking Halen. Like, one of the greatest Van Halen songs of all time. I mean, it's easily in my top 5 Van Halen songs. Insanely just all over the place. Eddie's ripping it up. Dave's screaming his ass off
Dave
on
is
this
just-
song.
Who knows what the hell he's doing?
Yeah.
It sounds so good.
Michael is out getting lunch for everybody, I think. Alex Van
Hey,
Halen.
he
Alex,
played on those albums, man.
Alex Van Halen is just absolutely killing it on the drums. On fucking fire.
I like Michael Anthony.
He came up with the fucking running with the double bass line. He even talked about how he came up with it. So.
You mean he came up with a bass line that goes boom, boom, boom.
Still, but he came up
All right,
with it.
guys, I'll see you later.
Boom,
That's
boom.
one of
It's
the
an
most that's
open
one of the
note,
most
too.
iconic
Boom,
bass lines of all
boom.
time. You
So,
gotta give
so
it
he
to
knows
him.
how to play the E string, is what you're telling me.
But
Exactly.
the thing is, but that was one of the most iconic beginning of the songs of all time.
Hey,
I
try
mean,
to keep
it's
up,
simple.
Eddie.
No.
Does it have
what's
to
the
be
re-
great
no, no,
to
no,
be
no.
perfect?
What brings that song in is that beginning with what Eddie's doing to make that sound effect. That's what brings
And
in
that was
Running with
Gene
the Devil.
Simmons. That was Gene Simmons told them to put that at the beginning of the album. That sound effect was originally at the end of another song, and Gene Simmons said, "No, you start your album like that."
Oh, okay. So Gene actually did have some influence on Van Halen then, I guess.
Mhm.
Huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Obligatory Kiss news again. There you go.
Boom, boom, boom. Hey, Eddie, can you keep up? Boom.
He's like this, scratching
There-
his head, looking at
Listen
him.
to
Like, let me
Women and
see, how do I
Children
play
first. There's some great bass lines by Michael.
And he didn't play any of them.
He said he did.
this? I will give Michael. I will
He
give
said,
Michael
he
Anthony.
said, listen,
And
he
every other
said that
member of the band,
him-
including
he
Sammy,
said
said
that
he didn't.
Eddie would come in with a riff and him and Alex would just start jamming to his riffs. That's how they came
Mark,
up with the music.
When even Sammy agreed that he didn't play it, you know he didn't.
Sammy
play it.
said no, he did.
Yeah. Michael's influence of Van Halen wasn't his bass playing, it was his backing vocals. That was
you guys are all
biggest
Michael
part of
haters.
Van Halen. I'm not a Michael hater.
hater.
I'm just joking.
He just didn't play the. Listen to In a Simple Rhyme and tell me he played that bass
He
line.
played it.
I think Nikki Sixx might have played more fucking, bass than.
Oh,
fucking
fuck
Michael
you.
Anthony.
Fuck you.
And I do
But
like
then-
his Jack Daniels bass is pretty fucking cool.
Then-
That was
then
cool
it-
at the time.
Then again,
Yeah,
we
That was a
can't all,
badass bass.
we can't all play the bass line of Dreams.
Boom 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 boom
Whatever.
boom boom
That's
boom
Chris
boom
Sandman.
boom boom.
You know,
Brum,
run,
brum, brum,
run,
brum,
run away like a train rolling off the track. I love that song, man.
That's a great song.
Great song.
I mean, there's a reason you never hear Michael Anthony being one of the best bass
That's
players.
solo
ever.
by
I
Eddie.
mean,
Wah, 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 wah,
Yeah.
wah. I love it.
Isn't that funny how on every list, top frontman of all time, David
Yeah.
Lee Roth, top
Well,
guitarist of all time, Eddie Van Halen,
I've
top
always
drummers
said,
of all time, Alex Van Halen, top bass players of all time, anybody else.
well, because he gets overshadowed. He's good. He fits the band. He fit the band, man.
I mean, it looks like everybody's
Yeah,
uncle.
because-
I mean, he didn't really have a rock star look.
yeah,
either,
because
you know?
somebody had to go pick up lunch for everybody.
Oh, you asshole. Hey, Michael Anthony, if you're watching this, I love you. Send me some
Hey,
hot
guys,
sauce.
who-
No, dude, I don't hate Michael Anthony at all. I just, you know, he didn't.
Hey, guys,
Well, I
who
want
said
him to
no
send me some
onions?
hot sauce.
No thanks. I'll pass. Any
I
kind
heard
of
Van
sauce. that
Anthony's
Sammy
hot
Hagar-
sauce is really
no
good.
thanks. Everybody's got a fucking hot sauce out nowadays. Why?
Well,
is
he
that? I love hot
he
sauce.
actually had it out first.
Oh, did he? All right.
Yes, he did.
All right. So, Mark, anyway, you're number 2, dude.
Number 2,
One.
we're on number 1.
Well, number
Number-
1. I want you to repeat your number 2 again for us.
My number 2 is "Fire in the Sky" by Ozzy.
Okay,
Osbourne.
that's cool. Man. Number 1.
Yeah. So my number 1, you've already picked, because I knew everybody's gonna pick Van Halen on Fire. Who wouldn't? That song fucking rules. So I had listened to the fucking Brian Howell version of fucking Bad Company for weeks now. I'm enjoying it better than Paul Rogers right now. God damn, it has more grit to it. No Smoke Without a Fire from Dangerous Days back up. Oh, there's no smoke without a fire. There's no heat without a flame. There's no love without desire. And I won't play these games. Please don't ask me why. I love the fucking song, man. Fucking love his voice. Got so much grit and fucking fire to it.
I wouldn't say his
Personality.
voice had grit.
It had grit. He had more raspiness than Paul.
I'll disagree.
He was
with you
more
now.
raspy.
He was a very clean singer, man.
He
Very
wasn't clean. He was not
Very
clean.
clean, dude.
You need to go listen
compared
to
to
that
Paul
shit.
Rogers.
Paul Rogers
Nah.
is more clean than him.
No way. No.
He was.
I know both those eras, dude. You're
Dude, he
wrong on
had
this
more
one.
of a Steve Perry rasp to him than Paul did.
No, he did not have
He
a rap.
did. He had a rasp. He had a huge rasp. What are you talking about? Listen to Smoke Without a Fire.
I
but
do listen
Mark,
to.
That's
But Mark,
rasp.
you also just tried to claim that Steve Perry has a rasp. So.
He does have a rasp. He has a little, he's not smooth all the time. He has an inflections in his voice.
Okay, inflection does not equal rasp.
It's a rasp. He has a Brian Adams rasp to him in a lot of
okay,
songs.
Brian Adams has a rasp.
Yes,
There
and
you
so,
go. That's
does,
a
so
rasp.
does Steve
Have a
Perry, and so does Brian Howe.
Okay, maybe after he lost his voice.
But Brian Howe always had that rasp.
No, Steve Perry had a rasp to his voice.
He did. Thank you.
Yeah, he did. Mhm.
He did. And so does Brian Howe, Jerry. That's my number 1. I'm not going to argue about this shit.
Well,
And
you're
Angel
wrong.
Hernandez sucks. Thank you.
Well, we can all agree on that one. But,
Yeah,
Well, he
I'll
doesn't suck
agree on-
anymore.
Yeah, well.
yeah, he'll always suck.
At least I root for an American League team, so I didn't have to see him very much.
Well, they changed him around, so they all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I heard-
but
I heard-
we didn't get him very much.
I heard Patrick Mahomes was trying to get him the ref to officiate the NFL for him.
Oh, here we go again. Come on, man. Come on. That
Oh,
is
come
awesome.
on. The most penalized team for holding all through every fucking season the last 5 years, but not a single fucking holding call in the playoffs. Come on, dude.
That's called learning their lesson, Jerry.
If they didn't learn, they kept doing it every year.
Yeah, that last pass in the 2000, first Super Bowl, he faced Nick Bosa was fucking mauled, and they didn't even call it.
No. But I will say this: there was a lot of different defensive players that were held in different games I saw that year. So it wasn't just the 49ers, but
No,
but
I think.
yeah.
Well, it's like in the Lakers when Shaq went to fucking the commissioner at the time. I forgot his name. David Stern or whatever his name is.
Stern,
He
yeah.
goes, I'm getting fucking held up fucking every fucking hit every day. And he says, Shaq, if we called every call that is legit on you, the game would go 10 hours. I said, we can't do that. And he understood it. And I go,
Yeah,
I
well,
will-
sometimes
I will-
commissioners don't follow through on all these different rules. And
All right, before we get to my number 1, you look
it might be
fucking
back
sad
in
about the
2017.
What happened to the traveling penalty in the NBA, man?
They
These people fucking
travel.
run
LeBron
halfway down the
slides
fucking
over
court.
all the time. I know that.
Holy shit! He's not the only one, but he's bad at
Well,
it. But,
everybody
I mean,
does it.
The NBA is a travesty these days anyway.
yeah, it is.
It's not basketball, and college basketball is getting just as bad.
I mean, fucking,
Yeah,
you know, WNBA is getting more attention than the NBA now. That's how
Yeah.
bad it is. I mean, fuck. Anyway, my
Caitlin
number
Clark.
one is,
Right on.
hey man, she's not doing horrible. She started out a little rough, but she's doing. Fucking woman has got a fucking shot, dude. She don't miss, man, from far away. It's amazing, actually. But and she's got the ugliest shot in the world too. It's very ugly, but it works. I mean, like, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, I guess. Anyway, number one, from one of the most underrated metal bands in fucking metal history. You know what I'm talking about, Mark. Talk about them all the time. Come on, you know who I'm talking about. I always request them to play on the radio show.
Metal Church.
Metal Church, man. Start the Fire off the Dark album, dude.
Great album.
Fucking David Wayne, man. The band had never had a bad singer, man.
No.
Mike Howe, fucking Mark Lopes they got now. Just amazing fucking Ronnie Monroe. I mean, just fucking In the Dark, man. What a great album it is. That's a great album if you're not into Metal Church to start getting into, because it's an amazing record.
Those first two are just
Oh man,
insane.
absolute. I mean, Kurt Vanderhoos, man, one of the fucking best metal riffers in the business, man. Great fucking song, great band. I'm getting kind of fucking all emotional about it. That's how much I love them. That's my number one, man. Yeah. But anyway, this is a fun list, man. Thank you guys for agreeing to do it, man.
It was a good time.
Anyone
We have any-
I have some honorable mentions. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, do we have any honorable mentions? You got any? Go ahead, Joe.
So I mentioned a couple. I had Fire Your Guns by AC/DC. I had Fire in the Sky by Ozzy. I've had enough Into the Fire by Kiss. I had my weekly necessary kicks mentioned, Bang Bang Balls of Fire off Midnight Dynamite. And I had, of course, Fire and Rain by James Taylor.
Ew.
That's a great
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, it's
I
very
like the
tough. I didn't
Badlands
put it on
version
the-
better.
What about you, Andy? You got any?
Yeah. I've got a couple that did not fit into the mood that I had set on my list. So I'm gonna go with Fire by Jimi Hendrix.
Good one.
A Light My Fire by the Doors.
That's on my
And
list.
also Fire and Rain by, of course, James Taylor, which I'm a big fan of his. I really do like his music. But also, what else did I have? Oh yeah, the Rolling Stones, You're Playing with Fire. I like that song.
Oh, I forgot about that
Yeah.
one. It's great.
You know, you're playing with me now.
Don't play with me. You're playing with fire. Love this
Yeah.
song.
And I had another one. Oh yeah, Fire by no wait, I'm on Fire by Bruce Springsteen.
That's a good track.
I almost
Yeah.
picked that one. That is on my list.
Fire Down Below by Bob Seger, of course.
Yeah, I was
I think
surprised
that
none of
Jerry-
you guys picked Fire Down Below because I almost picked that, but I thought somebody would pick it.
Oh, yeah, I picked it.
That's my
Oh, you
honorable
did pick
mention
it. Okay,
of
there you
what I
go.
was doing.
There's another one, Fire Lake. I almost picked
Yep.
that one too. Fire Lake's
Oh,
pretty good.
Fire
too.
Lake.
great
Yeah,
track.
that's a good song.
Fire Lake's a good one too.
Yeah. That's
Well,
off the same album too, I think, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get to
It
my
is.
honorable mentions while Jerry's out real quick. I went with Heart Cook with Fire, Ryan Adams Into the Fire, and you guys are probably gonna trip out that I didn't pick Cold Fire by Rush. I love that
Oh,
song, but it's not like better than the top 11 I picked. So I
No.
had to be honest on that.
Yeah.
I just couldn't put my obligatory Rush pick in there if
Hey,
it's not as good as these ones.
That's what I had my obligatory kicks pick in the honorable mentions. So
Yeah, I couldn't do the Rush, but I do like that song. So Jerry, you got any honorable mentions, man?
I sure as hell do. Just give me one damn minute, Admiral.
Adam.
Yeah, I got Into the Fire by Brian Adams. Did you say that, Mark?
Yeah, I did.
I got Heaven's on Fire by Kiss. I got Jump in the Fire by Metallica. I got Burning Down the House by the Talking Heads. I fucking love that tune, dude.
great track.
Oh yeah, a good song.
I got Quest for Fire by Iron Maiden.
Oh, that's a good one.
The Flame by Cheap Trick. And you guys will laugh at me for this one, but I don't care. I love this song. I love Beds Are Burning by Midnight fucking
I
Oil.
love
dude. I
that
love
song.
that
Oh yeah,
song.
it's a good
I
song.
love
Oh, I
that
like
track.
that song, and I like I like those first two albums, and then
Yeah.
I only know that one song. That's it.
Me too, and I love that song.
Yeah.
I have the
Well,
album.
they have
but
the blue sky or whatever thing.
Blue Sky Mine. Yeah.
Yes, blue sky mine. Yeah.
But I love that song. I always did. I got laughed at from my friends growing up for liking that song, but I don't care.
Hey, I
like
saw
what
that.
like.
I was up at 2 a.m. watching the Australian part of the Live Aid with them in Excess and the Divinals. So yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, that's cool. I remember that video being all the time. Got to look like Freddy Krueger, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a cool tune. But that's my list, man.
He looks like Chris Slade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before Chris Slade.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Wait, but then we get to that's the end of the show, man. But we got some pimp your shit, Andy.
Next week on Black Spinner Circle, we're still up in the air of what we're gonna do that Wednesday. So I will announce it on y'all's page and on mine and stuff like that. And also, I believe an episode of 3 Shots Down will be coming out very soon.
It was a lot of fun doing that show.
Yeah, that was a really good episode that we did about Cook. And then after that, we are working on a Leonard Skinner episode as well. That'll be our next one coming out, right, Jerry?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right.
All right.
Sam Cook. Sam
So
Cook.
Joseph, any final thoughts, man?
Just the usual. Buy physical media as always.
Absolutely.
Trying to think of anything. Right now, I'm expanding my classical CD collection, so I'm buying a lot of symphonies lately. So I'm taking a bit of a break from buying a lot of albums lately. But I'm going to some record stores tomorrow, so we'll see if I pick up anything. My sister and I are going to a party about an hour away, and we're stopping at like 4 different antique stores and record stores on the way. So, yep.
All right. And also, what are we doing next week, Joseph? It's your pick, man.
Next week, my pick, we are doing a cool idea I had. Something that gets talked about a lot is great album openers. I mean, it really gets talked about a lot is different ways to open an album. And so I want everyone to make a list of album openers by big name bands. So like the biggest name bands you can think of, album openers that you think are underrated by those bands. So like, for example, you pick a band like Van Halen and you pick a song that you might think is a lesser known album opener, which they really don't have one because all of their album opening songs are pretty popular. You could pick something like You're No Good, for example, because that one doesn't get as much love, I think. So
because it's
you might, so if one that you don't think gets enough love, an album opener from a big name band that you don't think gets enough love.
That'd be fun.
I would say like the Beatles, No Reply.
That's a great example.
Not many people talk about that song, but it's one of their best songs. If you're a big Beatle fan, you know that song beginning and end. But if you're a casual Beatle fan, you've never heard that song before. It's a great opener.
Right.
Give me no reply.
Well, thanks for putting that in my head. Now that has to be on my list. The Beatles, man. You gotta if I can say it. But
that was just an example.
I'm just gonna say tomorrow on Freeform Rock Podcast, we're doing, the great Big Four of thrash metal, right? We're doing
Yes, I do.
If there was a 5, what was our 5th thrash metal band? Tomorrow, Jerry is on there. We got a lot of people on there. It's a great episode. Check it out. The Def Leppard episode nobody really cares about.
Well, I didn't care. I didn't care when I did it. So
that was your pick, Jerry.
I
should have picked something good.
I didn't care enough to listen to the album, and I was on the episode.
So check out that episode. It's still out. It's there in the archives after tomorrow. You need to listen to it. It's hilarious.
If nothing else, folks, listen for the comedy because I really put my heart and soul into instead of reviewing every song, making some really scathing comments about a band that I really hate.
Yeah. So, man, any thoughts, Jerry? What's up, man?
We never introduced our guest tonight. Joseph Staub, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's been a great week. I'm excited to talk about this topic.
Cool.
Really excited to have a good time here.
Andy Rodriguez, how you doing, man? From the Black Spinner.
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. Unfortunately, I hope I don't go rogue on this episode that I did,
You're
and
going
I hope
rogue.
that that'll be.
Oh, I can't believe you'd never do that, Ann. Yeah, I can't imagine.
Uh,
Oh, but yesterday, I was able to go see Saxon and Uriah Heep with Brad Dahl and his son Nathan, which I've met them before when I went to Salt Lake City last year. We my wife and I and Brad and his son and his wife, we met for dinner. So I've met them before, and Nathan's been on a couple of episodes of our baseball podcast. But that baseball podcast is on hiatus right now. I don't think
I'm like,
I don't think
what?
I'm be bringing it back. Yeah.
All
I'll
right,
be
man.
doing our football one still, man.
Yes, our football one is going to be cranking up, and I think we're going to be doing episodes soon to talk about different trades and free agent
Yeah.
signings, and at least the top 10 draft picks.
Yeah.
And what teams got better. There's a lot to talk about in football, and I think Jerry and I are agreeance that we are. It's hard not to talk about football during the off season because there's so much going on.
That's
So,
how the
I
NFL
think
keeps
Jerry
you
and I are gonna-
engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
think
NFL
Jerry and I are going to get together soon and at least start off with an episode or two a month until the
Yeah.
season starts.
All right, man. So like, share, subscribe. But Jerry, final thoughts. Take us out, man.
Again, guys, thank you very much for being on the show to do this idea that I had. It was a lot of fun. We didn't have too much. We only had one song that all four of us agreed on. So I usually like shows like that where we don't have
Yes.
songs that we agree on. Like and subscribe. Leave us a comment. Leave us some negative comments. Do whatever you need to do. I
Give
get
us
negative
ideas for
comments.
shows.
Exactly. Do all that stuff. And what Joseph said, buy physical media. Fuck politics. Be good to your neighbor.
Yeah,
Yes.
be good to your school, man. Did
Remember,
somebody do that
We're
song?
all America. This is the
We're all
United
American,
States of America.
everybody.
This is the United
We're all
States of
American.
America.
Yeah,
And,
all right,
and,
man.
and beyond that, we're all humans. Remember that.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
we're only human after all, man. All right,
and
guys.
then remember the number one rule: we're also all brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Just
We are like we're all like 150th cousins, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
37th cousins, I think.
I
Yeah,
just
so-
want to say take care of each other, stop being a dick, and just fucking remember we're all in this together, man.
Yep.
Later, guys.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
guys.